At the end of the battle against Gas, all the Z warriors started in the same way with a rigorous training, since they realized that they could not always depend on the Saiyan warriors. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of the Whole, Daishinkan was very thoughtful because several timelines had been formed throughout the 12 multiverses, and the power beyond a god was required for him to be able to solve these problems. These problems are serious, but I think I have the perfect candidate to be able to solve this problem. At the moment when Daishinkan was about to leave the Kingdom of All, Zeno-sama would appear at Daishinkan's side.
Daishinkan, I'm feeling really bored. I want you to bring Son Goku to play with me, since I'm not able to have fun with absolutely nothing.
It is a pity, my lord, that I'm not able to fulfill your request this time, as I have to dare to take Mr. Goku as the new guardian of time and space.
Wow, that name's amazing. Is there even a position with that name?
That's right, my lord. Only the Kaioshin named Chronoa needs a very powerful being to be able to eradicate the beings that threaten universal extinction.
I understand. But I guess before my friend Goku is appointed with that position, he'll have to go through a test in order to be worthy of that position, or am I wrong?
Of course you're not wrong, great Zeno-sama. Mr. Goku, before being able to take over that position, he must be able to pass all the tests required for him to be able to become the new guardian of space-time.
This'll be great! I want to see how my friend Goku's able to overcome each of those tests.
Meanwhile, on planet Earth, Goku is meditating in some of the mountains because the Gas Warrior was able to defeat him with a single blow despite possessing the Ultra Instinct. So, Goku had undergone a rigorous training with which he was able to overcome each of his limits. However, in the front of Goku, a great aura would rise all over the sky, as well as the entire universe.
What is that gray light? Is he a new enemy?
Of course I'm not your enemy, Mr. Goku. On the contrary, I come to offer you a great training with which you'll be able to overcome your limits.
Are you serious? Of course I'm interested.
But for that, you must hold a position in the Divine Realm, so that I will be able to train him personally.
Oh, I'm not sorry, but I even told Whis I'd never destroy planets. I'm not that kind of person. I appreciate it.
I perfectly know how you are, Mr. Goku, so don't worry. The position I'm going to give you is that of a guardian of space-time.
Guardian of space-time? What should I do with that position? I've never heard of that. There is such a position in the 12 universes.
It's a very important position, so no one of the gods knows about their existence. Only the angels and the beings of the highest rank.
I understand, but can you explain to me what I have to do to get that position?
I don't know what's happening in the other timelines, but it's even affecting ours, and we need the power of a warrior who's able to deal with those irregularities.
Wow, that means that I have to fight very powerful warriors. And of course I agree. I will.
I know I could count on your support, Mr. Goku. In that case, I'll be better to leave right now so that you could start your new training. They both left for the realm of the All, in which Zeno-sama had the moment rush towards his friend, hugging him tightly and even congratulating him on his new position as the guardian of space-time. My lord, it's very rushed, because Mr. Goku at this moment has just started with his time guardian training.
That doesn't matter, Daishinkan, since I trust in the potential that my friend Goku has, and I know that he'll be able to become very powerful. I promise not to disappoint you, Zen friend, and I'll make sure to give everything to myself to become very powerful and to be worthy of the new position that's been entrusted to me.
Now, Mr. Goku, who has finished greeting the king completely, it's time, and we'll even access a new dimension in which time stops very quickly to have greater results in the shortest possible time.
Apparently we're in a setback. Of course! Right now I'm going with Daishinkan.
Exactly, Mr. Goku. Dimensional cracks are starting to appear with much more frequencies. And if this continues like this, it may be catastrophic for our multiverse. Both warriors were sent to one of the most multiple dimensions that existed in the Kingdom of Everything, in which instantly Goku would realize how gravity was millions of times increased, which had left him surprised, because even accessing the Super Saiyan Blue, he had not been able to stand for more than 10 seconds.
What is this place? I'm not able to move freely. I feel like my body weighs thousands of tons.
In order for you, Mr. Goku, to become the guardian of space-time, you must be prepared to withstand great loads of energy and even pressures.
But this is amazing. It's our first day, Daishinkan.
I trust you, Mr. Goku, but don't worry, because I'll give you angelic energy right now. Energy that only angels are capable of using. Daishinkan, by granting him a little of the angelic essence, the change in the environment in the whole place was sudden, because Son Goku's power had grown in an amazing way. That's right, his entire internal system was able to transport twice as much energy as he usually produces. At the moment, Goku, who was lying on the ground, was able to open his eyes, being able to make a great aura rise all over the place, while his imposing silver eyes illuminated the whole place. This is amazing! Not all warriors who receive angelic energy are able to master it on such a level on their first day.
But my body's still too heavy. But I am able to move a little more.
From this moment, we'll start with the great training, Mr. Goku.
I'm ready, Daishinkan. I can't fail on this mission.
Son Goku's training had begun, in which with the knowledge of the great priest, his power began to have an incredible energy increase, as well as his combat style had changed drastically because this time, his defense and offense were at the highest level, while his power seemed to have no limit. In that dimension, 2 years had already passed in which Goku had been able to master the pressure 100%, being able to use all his speed without any problem. Mr. Goku, being in Contra Time, that has been your training. Of course, your techniques and powers will have to keep training them on your own.
I understand, Daishinkan, but before I leave this dimension, can you fight me, please? I want to measure myself with one of the 5 most powerful warriors of the 12 universes.
Of course I do, Mr. Goku, but I'll be benevolent to you, since I will only use my right arm. Don't worry, attack with all your power. Goku, a little annoyed being underestimated, he had rushed against Daishinkan, but Daishinkan was able to stop each of Goku's punches without any difficulty. Even being able to dodge them, no problem. While Goku attacked, he would notice that Daishinkan, despite having the opportunity, did not hit him. Goku would instantly take a little distance.
If you get a chance to hit me, please do it. You don't know how humiliating it is for a warrior that his enemy holds back. I want you to take me seriously.
If that's your request, I'll do it, Mr. Goku. Daishinkan, he would put himself in a battle pose as he would raise both of his arms. Without Goku being able to see absolutely anything, he was able to grant him a series of blows in all his vital parts. So at the moment Goku would fall to the ground, it didn't matter that Goku was using the Ultra Instinct, since Daishinkan's power was on another level of divine scale. It'll be better to leave for today, and with his great ability to increase his power, I know that in a few thousand years he'll be able to come a little closer to my power. While Daishinkan would turn his back on him, Goku with all his willpower would start to stand up.
If I'm not able to grant a single blow to Daishinkan, I'm not worthy of this position. I have to become much more powerful.
Goku, straining his body to the limit, even damaging several veins of his energy due to the excessive use of energy, was able to release a gigantic power, which this time was able to make even Daishinkan retreat a few meters, being caught off guard. Wow, I didn't know that Mr. Goku's power was able to reach this limit. Apparently he was holding back.
Damn, my body hurts too much. This is the power beyond Ultra Instinct, and I'm only able to hold it for about 2 minutes.
Goku would begin to move at a flashing speed, which for Daishinkan would still not be amazing. However, having his limited power, his body was not able to possess the speed required to be able to dodge him, because at that moment, Goku would appear as a flash in front of Daishinkan, being able to connect a big blow all over his face. The power that had been overwhelming that even the bones of his arms shattered, while Daishinkan would fall with an overwhelming power. Even to his surprise, he would start to feel a liquid flowing from his body. Damn, that hurt me. This warm fluid. This is blood. This Saiyan has been able to make a priest bleed like I am. At that moment, as if it were a meteorite, Goku would also fall into a part of that dimension while his whole body was torn to pieces. But the most serious damage were of his energy veins, which were so delicate that it was impossible for them to transport energy. Well, you're totally worthy of owning the position of this space-time guardian, as you're even able to give your life if an enemy requires it.
Thanks, but my whole body hurts. I'm not able to move in the slightest.
That's because he used the power beyond Ultra Instinct, and his body is not yet able to withstand those great loads of energy. Daishinkan, being a high priest, he would begin to heal each of his energy veins, being able to make Goku able to stand up, although his energy veins were still a little numb. Your energy veins will pass in that state for about 24 hours, but don't worry, it won't leave any aftermath.
I thank you, Daishinkan, and I promise to become much more powerful than you. Next time, I'll be able to give him much more of an even battle. Both warriors would come out of that dimension, but the instant they did, a surprising pressure would be felt by all the 12 universes, as they were not prepared for said power. That's right, Goku's power on this occasion had been able to overcome all the 12 angels without an exception. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll have to control my power so not to cause havoc for any universe. Daishinkan would use a small sphere of energy in one of his fingers, with which he was able to create a powerful barrier in each of the universes, so that they would be able to withstand Goku's power and not collide in the process. I've placed barriers in each of the 12 universes, while you master all that power, Mr. Goku. But now, we'll start with the ritual of the first position of Guardian of Space-Time. Sure, Daishinkan, I'm ready. Instantly, Daishinkan would stretch out one of his hands, of which a pentagram would be formed all over the place. Starting to surround Goku, his hair would rise a little while his clothes had changed to a silver one. Due to his position, after only 30 minutes, the ritual had ended, being Goku named as the Guardian of Space-Time. These clothes feel as great, but I think I'll wear my usual clothes because these clothes kind of feel uncomfortable. Goku would put on his usual clothes, which instantly he would be prepared for his new position as the Guardian of Space-Time. So Daishinkan would stand next to Goku. It's time to leave so that you're able to meet your partner with whom you'll make a great team.
Dude, congratulations! I knew you'd take over this position. I trust you, friend.
Thank you very much, little Zen, and I promise to give my best so that no dimensional gap is formed.
We're counting on you, friend Goku.
Daishinkan would take Goku to the Temple of Time, where we can observe a Kaioshin named Corona, which I was a little surprised to observe Daishinkan accompanied by a person not belonging to the divine world.
Nice to meet you again, Daishinkan. But tell me, who is he? You better know better than anyone. It's not allowed that even for gods to know the existence of this place, much less a mortal.
A while without seeing you, Corona. And don't worry, since this warrior I have here will be your companion. He's the new Guardian of Space-Time, so I hope you do a great teamwork together.
Corona would be surprised. However, at the moment, a new crack would appear in front of everyone.
Apparently they have work to do. I'm leaving.
Daishinkan would disappear from the place while Corona would observe Goku fixedly.
If Daishinkan's brought you here, I guess you're very powerful, and I'll trust you. Please, go solve what's happening in that said dimensional gap.
Of course, yes. It's time to put my training to the test. But tell me, what happened?
In the original story, Black Goku defeated by the Vegito fusion. But in this timeline, Black Goku has achieved a much greater power, with which he was even able to finish off Vegito, Super Saiyan Blue.
Wow! That looks like a perfect way to test my new power. Goku would enter the crack that was in front of this, so Goku would start with his position as Guardian of Time and Space. When Goku entered the three-dimensional rift, he was able to reach the planet Earth of Universe 7 from an alternate timeline, in which he was able to observe a completely defeated Vegito at the hands of Black Goku Super Saiyan Rose Phase 3. In said transformation, Black Goku was able to possess a brutal energy increase, being so much that he'd been able to defeat the fusion of both Saiyans.
Apparently they were nothing more than simple worms, but it doesn't matter. Because when I finish with you, I'll also delete your timeline, so there's absolutely nothing left.
Damn, we weren't able to do anything even being merged. This'll be our end. Damn, I'll be defeated by Kakarot's copy of the Dam.
Black would instantly throw a great attack against the warriors. However, at the moment, a power of the same way would not lose against the power of Black Goku was able to repel the great attack, being able to cause a big explosion all over the place. However, Goku would create a powerful barrier for Goku and Vegeta of that timeline. At the moment of dissipating the smoke, a Goku could be observed in front of both Saiyans. Everyone present was surprised due to the appearance of a new Goku.
What the hell is going on? Is he a new enemy?
Who are you? I'm not able to feel your energy, but you have no bad intentions. That's not interesting. Just don't worry, since I'll take care of ending Black Goku's life. It'll be a good workout to stretch the muscles. You are much more arrogant than the Saiyans behind you, but you do think that you have the power required to do something against me?
Black, at an incredible speed, had moved to one side of Goku. However, no one around him was able to observe the movement.
But a few seconds later, Black could be observed on the ground in terrible conditions. That's right, in microseconds, Goku had been able to grant him hundreds of blows in each of his vital points.
I really wouldn't want to end your life, but having the training beyond a god, I know that subjects like you will never change. So this will be your final. No, damn. I've been able to wipe out all the gods in this timeline, and neither you nor anyone else will be able to wipe out my dream of wiping out humanity.
Black at the moment would throw thousands of spheres of energy all over the place, which this time caused great destruction all around him, while for Goku, it was absolutely nothing. Goku at the moment would observe Black fixedly, while he approached the same, and his eyes as well as his hair began to turn a silver color.
Wow, what is that transformation? My body hurts, but I have interest to know how that guy is the same as me, but he has a gigantic power.
Hell, who is he? Even Black in Super Saiyan Phase 3, he defeated Vegeta without much difficulty, and this new Kakarot's able to face him without any problem. At the moment, Goku would be in front of Black, who, despite trying to move, was not able to do absolutely anything, because the simple pressure of Goku was not able to get him to move his joints, so at the moment, Goku would decrease his pressure, allowing Black to be able to move a little.
I want you to at least help me stretch my muscles, but if you're not able to even do what that was, I'd be able to end your pathetic life.
From a blind spot, hundreds of energy spheres were fired at Goku. That's right, it was Zamasu. And I don't know who the hell there is another Goku, but we won't let ourselves be defeated. Only you stand in our way.
If you really want to fight with a real warrior, let us merge. You being a Saiyan, I know that you're the most looking forward to. Haha, of course you could do it. Although unfortunately for you, even if you merge, you won't be able to do anything against me, since your power is very distant from mine.
Black and Zamasu at the moment began to merge, creating a powerful warrior who would rise to the top of the entire planet, with which, out warning, would throw a powerful beam of energy. No, careful, damn. Even though he's another Kakarot, he's still good for nothing. Why not let his energy merge? His power grew in an unreal way. But when the smoke dissipated, it could be seen how Goku had been able to stop the power of Zamasu fusion, while Goku's cold gaze would fix them completely. At the same time, the fusion was not able to move in the slightest. That's right, Goku's power this time was so great as to even paralyze those deities.
With you, I won't be able to test my power, so it'd be better to finish with you.
Goku would begin to fight against Zamasu fusion, which, due to experiencing the sensation to death, was able to move, starting to fight against Goku. However, his attempts were in vain because, to tell the truth, the distance that separated them was like heaven and earth. For its part, in the Palace of Time, the Kaioshin Corona was watching everything that had happened, being very surprised, due to the power possessed by that warrior, which she had underestimated.
I don't know who she is, but when I come back I will ask him his name, as he has really turned out to be a very powerful warrior, and that surprises me.
Before returning to the battlefield, the fusion was humiliated in the worst way possible. So before being eradicated, it would choose to blend in with the entire Universe 7.
Now that I've merged with the whole Universe 7, you won't be able to do anything. No matter how much your power is, you're a scumbag.
From all over the universe, several energy attacks began to fall against all the warriors. However, the barrier that Goku had previously placed was powerful enough to withstand all the attacks. But the warriors inside would be worried.
Hell, if the damn Zamasu has merged with the universe, no matter what power that warrior possesses, we won't be able to defeat him.
Before the Goku of that timeline says anything, Goku the Guardian of Space-Time would exclaim,
Goku, I don't want you to use the little Z button, because I'm capable of killing this damn war myself. What? How do you know I was going to use the button?
Instantly, Goku would begin to rise throughout Universe 7, while thousands of attacks were directed towards it. However, a simple aura did not allow Zamasu's attacks to hurt him. So at the moment, Goku would expel much more of his power, with which his aura would grow much more throughout the universe, being able to disintegrate a part of Zamasu's essence.
If I'm able to disintegrate your essence completely, no matter what you merge with, I'll be able to end your miserable life.
Zamasu, despite being confident, after a few seconds his confidence would turn to despair, realizing how the power of that warrior began to also rise in an incredible way. That's right, Goku had decided to end this once and for all. So at the moment, he was able to disintegrate all the essence of Zamasu. But instantly, Goku disappeared from that timeline to the problem be solved completely. while the warriors of that timeline were surprised by the power that demonstrated that Goku.
Wow, I don't know how that version of me possessed so much power, but I hope to be able to fight in the future.
Returning to the Temple of Time, Goku would be cordially received by Krona.
I'm glad to know your first mission was a success, but may I know what's your name, and how do you possess so much power? Thank you. My name's Son Goku, although I'm also known as Kakarot, and answering your second question, I've always liked to train, although my power exploded with Daishinkan training.
Wow, that is amazing. I've never met any mortal who has personally trained with the great priest Daishinkan. So for that reason, he himself has granted you this position, since you have the required power.
It's not a big deal. I'm just trying to do my best with my new position. So if there's any problems or gaps, just let me know.
Sure, no problem. I'll take care of it. So Goku, being about to leave, a big rumble would be felt all over the Temple of Time, just like a crack of a large dark color size would appear all over the center, something that had never happened since the Temple of Time had been created.
What's going on, Krona? Is he a new enemy, or is that crack appeared recently the cause?
However, an incredible power was released from that crack, while a very injured Trunks would be able to get out of the portal. But when he was in front of the warriors, he would fall out of combat. However, at the moment, a powerful energy claw was approaching Trunks, for which Goku would expel a large part of his energy, being able to repel that claw, although it was costing him too much, having not accessed his most powerful state.
Krona, holding on to Trunks and step aside. I won't be able to hold this barrier for long.
Krona, with a decent speed, was able to hold Trunks moving away, so at the moment, a big rumble would be caused all over the place.
Goku, you better enter the rift, or bring the subject of fight to a part of this multiverse, because if the Temple of Time suffers more damage, a dimensional catastrophe may occur, destroying even all existing timelines.
So a large part of his energy, Goku is able to move at a flashing speed, entering the gap, so at the moment, charging a powerful blow, he was able to throw that entity to a planet of his timeline, making the planet suffer great impact, but would not be destroyed despite the power.
Wow, what timeline are we on? I can't believe that, even using a large part of my power, I haven't been able to eliminate that planet.
However, from all over the planet, an amazing essence would become present, so it would make even Goku's body shudder.
This power is gigantic. I can't trust myself because even if I receive one of the blows from that guy, I'm sure it could cause me great damage.
The great aura would likewise rise all over the place, transversing everything around him, while the warrior, while rising, created thousands of shatters all around him, spread all over the place, just like the planet itself at this moment could not stand the energy he released.
Well, but if you are Kakarot, but apparently you are the Kakarot from another dimension. Since thousands of years ago, I've ended your life in this timeline. Damn, I don't know what timeline we're on, but I can't let you damage another timeline.
At the moment, when all the smoke from the place dissipated, a silver-haired warrior could be observed, which at the first glance looked like a Saiyan or even a human, but the power was not at all low.
Who are you? Why have you caused havoc in this timeline? And why do you even want to destroy other timelines?
Without Goku receiving an answer, he would be attacked, receiving a powerful blow in the stomach, which, despite possessing the Ultra Instinct, hadn't been able to dodge such a powerful blow, which would make him fall to the surface of a planet. But at the moment of Goku trying to stand, various blood was spreading all over the place.
Yeah, damn, that hit hurt me too much. I'm not even able to stand up.
The warrior who possessed a sword would wield his sword, so at the moment, without waiting for Goku to recover, he would throw a powerful lunge. But at the moment, this would grow hundreds of times more, so trying to dodge it, it would be impossible for him.
I don't have time to think about the catastrophe that my power could cause. If this guy wins, it'll be the end of the whole Temple of Time.
Goku would expel all the power of the perfect Ultra Instinct, which, he was able to make that great sword not be able to get even a millimeter closer. That's right, the great pressure of Goku combined with his power, they were able to stop the sword. But Goku was surprised to realize how, for a warrior, that pressure was like the simple breeze of the mountains.
I can tell that you possess a great power, but you are able to release some pressure. But I was already able to end your pathetic life on one occasion, so it shouldn't be a problem to be able to end your life on a second occasion.
Both warriors crossed a few glances, so at the moment, they began to exchange thousands of blows all over the place. However, in all this exchange of blows, despite Goku's possessing great power, It seemed that his immense power was not able to face this great warrior, which was able to grant many more effective blows. While Goku, the more the battle went on, his body began to be very affected since the blows that warrior granted him were of a high power level. Goku would instantly be sent to a planet, falling brutally. As I've told you before, I was already able to end your pathetic existence once, so ending your existence a second time's not complicated for me. Goku would try to stand up, however his whole system was in pieces, but at the moment he would remember the words of his beloved teacher Daishinkan. The power of the Saiyan warriors lies in their anger, so when there's no more way out, anger, you will be able to release much more power. Goku would begin to release all his power, so like his power, his hair would likewise begin to grow in an incredible way, while this time all that dimension would likewise tremble. The incredible power of Goku kept releasing in an incredible way. So at the moment, to release all the rest of his energy, he was able to cause a big explosion all over the place, where they were, which would make Genshi, to be sent a few meters back, being a little surprised of the new power of Goku. This is amazing. I didn't think that a Goku from another timeline so powerful. But no matter the power you possess, you won't be able to do anything against me. Genshi would instantly raise all his power, so a red aura would spread throughout the universe where they were, and in the same way would make Goku move a little away, which was approaching at a great speed. So this is the power that my teacher told me about. It's an incredible power, but I don't think I could stand more than 10 minutes with all this power. The incredible aura of Genshi would spread all over the place, while at the moment Genshi, without warning, had rushed against Goku, which in the same way he would, the battle would begin. However, it seemed that their powers were equalized, but the more the battle went on, Genshi began to take advantage, because this time Goku was not able to master the wear of energy that this transformation exerted on him. Unlike his opponent, who was able to master the power in its totality, Genshi was able to deliver a powerful blow to Goku's face, sending him to a planet, destroying it in its entirety. Instantly, Goku would recover on a rock from space. However, too much blood is spreading from all over his body. Damn, the power that this warrior is able to release is incredible. I'm not able to do anything. I feel like my whole body's about to collapse. I must admit that you're much more powerful than the Goku I face. But no matter what timeline you're from, you are still the same scum. Goku would immediately activate one of his dimensional rings, being able to escape the moment in which Genshi was able to detonate a powerful sphere of energy, destroying the entire universe where they were fighting. Goku was traveling through multiple timelines out of combat because the damage he had received from Genshi had been complete madness, while in the same way the energy consumption in that transformation was crazy. At the moment, which of Goku would be sent to the planet of the god Beerus of Universe 7 from a very different timeline, so instantly it would fall with a great power, creating a great rumble all over the planet, which would cause the god Beerus to wake up furious. Who dares interrupt my sleep? Do they not know that I'm the mighty Beerus, the god of destruction? However, at the moment, Beerus would recognize Goku. But if you're Goku, do you come to train with Whis? Next time I want to be more cautious, because otherwise I'll end your life. However, both deities immediately noticed how Goku's body was in terrible condition, and at the moment, Whis was able to notice a divine seal on Goku's clothing. That seal represented this position as the guardian of space-time, so that he didn't have to wear that clothing. Mr. Beerus, apparently this Goku is not the Goku of our timeline, because as I am able to realize, this is Goku, he's the guardian of space-time. Guardian of space-time? Is there such a charge as that? That's right, Mr. Beerus, he is the warrior who possesses the power to require to finish off any being that endangers the realities and dimensions. But apparently he hasn't been able to clinch the victory due to his injuries being serious. Whis. Of course, Mr. Beerus, at this very moment. Whis was the most powerful angel and would try to heal Son Goku. However, was surprised because at the moment of approaching, it would be impossible for him. That's right, Goku's whole body had created an energy barrier, which no being of lower rank would be able to cross. Well, apparently with my power and the resting, I won't be able to go inside to heal Mr. Goku, so I have to raise my power a little. Whis, by raising his power to 50%, would try again, but the result would be the same, which at this moment, his astonishment would be much greater, although in the same way, a chill would run through his entire body. I can't believe the power this Goku possesses, but I have to use 100% of all my power since these wounds won't heal on their own. Whis, at the moment, would create a barrier for Beerus, which left a little confused. Hey Whis, so you create a barrier for me? But he was surprised to realize how his entire planet was beginning to be destroyed, while Whis continued with the increase of all his power. After a few seconds, Whis was able to access 100% of all his power. With all this power, I'm sure I'll be able to access the said barrier. As Whis started to approach towards the barrier, impressive as it may seem, Whis again was not able to enter, which this time would cause all his power to decrease, while the barrier he had created for his god would disappear completely. Hey Whis, what happened? Why'd you expel all that incredible power? Mr. Beerus, I haven't been able to penetrate the barrier that Mr. Goku's created. This power is so great that even with 100% of all my power, I haven't been able to crack it. We just have to wait until he wakes up. Beerus was surprised by the words of Whis. Meanwhile, returning to the Temple of Space-Time, Krona finds himself next to Trunks, who on this occasion was able to access his god state, which he had chosen as his new base state.
Thank you, Corona, for the help, because if not for you, I would have died at the hands of that dam.
But explain to me, Trunks, what happened? Your power's not low at all, and you arrived in terrible conditions.
Flashback, millions of years ago, a powerful warrior wanted to become the destroyer of time. He wanted to only exist in the entire multiverse. For that reason, the Guardian of All that decided to grant the position to a powerful warrior who would become the Guardian of Space-Time. The first Supreme Saiyan, named Yamoshi, would face this warrior named Genshi. That's right, the same subject had been created in the same way for millions of years, so at the moment the battle of both warriors would be so intense, but in an act of desperation, the mighty Yamoshi with all his power was able to cause a gigantic explosion throughout the 18 universes, which at the moment 6 of them were destroyed, while it was believed that Yamoshi and Genshi had died. But a few months ago, a strange presence would be felt in one of the timelines. So they had sent Trunks, candidate to Kaioshin of Time, but he was completely massacred by his enemy named Genshi. End flashback.
That means that Genshi you're talking about is the reason why the Temple of Space-Time was created, and that warrior has come back to life.
Unfortunately, that's the way Corona is.
No, damn. We should inform Goku because he's not a warrior that is able to face easily.
Returning to the planet of Beerus, it had already been about 3 weeks in which, in the same way, the Temple of Time was on the trail of Goku. Meanwhile, being frozen, they weren't able to feel his power in the slightest. But after 6 months, both deities were walking all over their planet. Instantly, a great serious pressure perceived by the deities, so that at a great speed, they headed towards where Goku was. But missing a few meters, there would be a crash to the ground since Goku's pressure had increased in an incredible way. So much so that he'd been able to leave both deities surprised.
Damn, I can't move. Feel like every movement's hard for me to breathe.
So, for that reason, I'm not able to enter the barrier he had created. His power is so great that even I, as Supreme Angel's not able to do anything. My body hurts. When Goku was in state of shock, he would continue with the increase of his power. But when he realized the place where he was able to control himself, decreasing his power.
Wow, but if this is Mr. Beerus' planet, what am I supposed to be doing on this place? I was struggling.
At the moment, Goku realized that both deities had suffered great damage by their simple pressure. So when Goku had received the training of an angel, he was able to heal each of their wounds, getting the deities to stand up.
Whis, Beerus, I'm sorry, only that I was in battle and I didn't know how I got here, but I have to get back quickly.
We understand, but Mr. Goku, you've been unconscious for about 6 months. Goku was surprised by what Whis told him.
But Goku, Whis had communicated to me that you're not the Goku of our timeline, that you're the Guardian of Space-Time. And I have a doubt. How have you been defeated? Your power's gigantic.
The warrior that I was facing seemed to have no limit to his power. I even used each of my techniques. I agreed to new transformation, but none of that was enough.
In that case, I understand that you should return to the Temple of Space-Time, because if that warrior is still loose through the different timelines, he could cause a great dimensional destruction.
You're right, Whis. I appreciate your care, but I have to leave for something much more serious happens.
Goku would begin to move between the dimensions, realizing how thousands of dimensions were in absolute shambles, implying that Genshi had passed through each of those dimensions. For his part, in a castle very far from all those dimensions was Genshi.
Ha ha ha! Destroying dimensions is entertaining for me. I'll finally be able to realize my dream of becoming the only being of all these dimensions.
But as he walked, the power likewise began to decrease slightly. Although it wasn't much, being constant, the power he lost was important to him in a battle.
I think I'll have to access my true form, but it's what I wanted the least, since that form reminds me of my defeat against the damn Yamoshi.
Genshi, at the moment, would begin to change completely, while his hair grew as his body began to wear a large armor, implying that he's being of the utmost importance.
After billions of years, I've returned to my original form. But this time, there's no warrior who's capable of doing something against me.
Returning to the Temple of Time, Goku had been able to get to Corona, but at the moment, Daishinkan was still present.
Glad to hear that you're feeling well, Goku. I thought you'd been completely defeated by Genshi.
So apparently they're already aware of everything that's happened with that damn...
Goku, Corona, this is very bad. If it's really about Genshi, the first dimensional destroyer, we need to take hands on the matter fast.
But Master, what can we do? I was even able to achieve a new transformation, but I haven't been able to do anything against it.
That's why I brought you your most powerful rival. And that the same way his power has risen in an incredible way.
Instantly, Vegeta would appear on Daishinkan's side. However, the power this Vegeta possessed was unmatched.
There's no time for explanations, but you will merge with the sacred earrings of the Temple of Space-Time. Since being sacred earrings, they have no time limit.
I don't like the idea of having to merge to be able to defeat a warrior, but apparently there's no alternative this time.
Apparently we have to unite our powers like in the old days. And with the power we possess now, I can't imagine the power Vegeta will get.
At the moment, both would wear those earrings, with which they began to unite. While these joined, hundreds of catastrophes were caused by all the 12 universes. Despite the fact that Daishinkan had created a great barrier, a few moments later, a Vegeta could be observed. But something to differentiate was that the hair was silver, however in certain parts he would begin to turn a purple color, just like Vegeta's hair in his state of God of Destruction. The incredible power of Vegeta would be felt by each of the 12 universes, which would even make all the gods and angels enter into chaos, because they didn't know which warrior all that incredible power belonged to. However, instantly from the dimensional gap in the center of the 12 universes, Genshi would appear with his true form. At the moment of appearing, in the same way, his incredible aura would begin to collide with Goku's aura, being two gigantic powers.
As of this moment, it's all yours, Vegito, because I can't interfere in what happens at the Temple of Time. The rules are strict.
I got it, Daishinkan. Don't worry, I'll take care of that damn worm myself. Instantly, Vegeta would appear from the Temple of Space-Time, so he would instantly appear in front of Genshi. However, Vegeta was very surprised by the new appearance, but more surprised by what Genshi would exclaim.
So, in this timeline, they've decided to call Vegito. But that'll be impossible for them since so far I've ended the life of 24 Vegetos. None of them been able to do anything against me as well as 6 Gogetas.
Damn it, this wretch! How many innocent lives he's destroyed! Just because of his fucking arrogance. This I can't forgive him! Vegeta, without a few words, had launched himself against Genshi, which with the first clash of his fists would cause too much destruction for each of the 12 universes. Even thousands of planets were eradicated by the simple exchange of their blows. While these fought, Daishinkan would communicate telepathically with each of the angels.
Angels, I want you and your gods to immediately see the palace of the Zeno-sama king, as it'll be the only place that'll not be destroyed by this great battle.
All the angels, accompanied by their gods, began to head towards the palace of Zeno-sama. However, it was too complicated for them because the pressures of both warriors were not allowed to move freely, of which Daishinkan had noticed teleporting to where they were. At the moment, Daishinkan would expel a large part of all his power, with which it was enough for each angel and his god to be able to withstand the pressure. Go immediately, because by releasing all this pressure, I'm not able to transport myself to the Kingdom of the All. I'll have to use my speed, and being a Supreme Angel, I'm able to withstand this pressure much more. All the angels use their maximum speed to be able to reach the Kingdom of the Whole in the shortest possible time, while Daishinkan, with his great power, was able to withstand that pressure for a few hours, in which the angels had reached their destination. Finally, now if I can leave, Vegito, we trust you. Returning to the battlefield, Vegito in the same way had realized that all the angels and gods had arrived to the Kingdom of the Whole. So at the moment, he would reinforce his blows with much more energy, being able to grant a powerful blow to Genshi, sending him to fly to a planet, destroying it completely.
I'm sorry, but I promise that we'll revive you, because if we don't do this, we'll all die. I promise that we'll bring you to life with the Super Dragon Balls.
Vegito, at the moment, without holding back in the slightest, would begin to put a beating on Genshi. Or it would seem, because from one moment to another, Genshi would wield his great sword, being able to cut off a leg of Vegito. A chilling scream would be heard all over the place, which had left the beings of the Kingdom of the All, as well as the Temple of Time, terrified.
This is bad. Apparently Genshi was hiding a lot more power anyway. If this keeps up, Vegito won't be able to do anything against that warrior.
Vegito, possessing the power beyond a god as well as an angel, was able to regrow his leg, but the pain generated was otherworldly.
Damn, I'm the fusion of the most powerful Saiyans in this whole universe. This can't be happening to me.
What happened? Did you think that you were the only one hiding your power? Don't make me laugh. Let me tell you, I'm just warming up, so get ready.
Genshi would start increasing his speed in an incredible way, with which he was able to start slaughtering Vegito. This time, instantly, he would hold him by the head, making him crash into a planet. The destruction was devastating. While blood was spreading all over the planet where they were, Genshi, with a powerful kick, would send him to another planet, being dragged by a few mountains.
No, no, no! This can't be happening to me! I won't be one more on your list! I'm the guardian of space-time! If possible, I'll sacrifice myself!
Vegito threw himself against that warrior at his maximum speed. At the moment, again began to exchange thousands of blows. However, Genshi, in each exchange of blows, was capable of causing great damage. At the moment, Vegito would fall to the Super, returning to the state of the Super Saiyan Blue. His power had decreased in an incomparable way.
It's time for you to join my list. You and all this multiverse. Because of your information, not even a king at all is capable of facing me. Die, damn worm.
At the moment of an energy arrow being able to collide with Vegito, as if it were a miracle, the fusion would end. Not possessing the minimum power that was required to maintain the fusion, being able to save themselves by the energy arrow passing through the middle of both.
Ha ha ha! How lucky you have been, you damn worms. Well, that only makes it more fun. Right now, I plan to finish with each of you.
Genshi would move with great speed towards Vegeta, who would begin to grant him thousands of blows, while Goku was on the ground on the verge of death, not being able to do anything.
Damn! Why am I so weak? Even in front of me, they're humiliating my good friend and rival. I'm not able to do absolutely anything.
Meanwhile, Goku would absolutely remember his whole life, how he arrived on planet Earth until when he was worthy of the post of Time Guardian. So Goku, with all his energies, would start to stand up.
I plan to even use the forbidden power of the Super Dragon Balls to be able to finish off this bastard.
Goku teleported off the battlefield, while Genshi kept humiliating Vegeta.
Ha ha ha! Maybe that's your partner. He has abandoned you as if you were just another piece of garbage. Although it is true what he said. Every warrior will choose himself above all when his life is in danger.
Goku would arrive with the 4-star Super Dragon Balls. So, at the moment, he would begin to enter the sphere, the power of the incredible god Zulma. He would begin to travel through every vein of energy. But the sphere being cracked in the same way, an incredible dark power would begin to access Goku's body. So at the moment, Goku would be observed in absolute darkness, while he was corrupted by the absolute evil of the 4-star sphere.
Before you're able to control me completely, I ask you to please save Vegeta and finish that damn Genshi.
You have chosen the path of the 4-star sphere. the path that leads to an incalculable power, the path beyond a demon god. But I will grant your request.
Goku at the moment would be completely corrupted, while the sphere would be depicted on his forehead. Just like all his power would begin to grow in an incredible way. The power that Goku was releasing was complete madness, but no divine being was able to perceive the energy of a demon god.
This power is amazing! No matter who my enemy is, I won't lose, because the power of a demon god, the corrupt power of the 4-star Super Dragon Ball runs through my body.
Returning to the battlefield, Genshi would start approaching Vegeta, who was about to lose consciousness. He was no longer able to do anything to try to defend himself.
It's time to end your life. But don't worry, I promise to find that bastard who abandoned you and send him to hell with you.
Genshi would lower his incredible sword, which was even capable of destroying universes. So ending the life of a warrior who was on the verge of death would be simple, but an incredible dark aura was present all over the place. Just like a great beast would be formed all over the universe, Genshi was surprised when his great sword was floating in the universe, as if there was no gravity at all.
Understand that there's no gravity in outer space, but I've injected a great energy into it so that I'm able to move.
At the moment, the sword would be destroyed into thousands of pieces, while the entire environment around it would completely change, just as a dark silhouette would begin to approach the Prince of the Saiyans.
I'm sorry for keeping you waiting, but I won't let you die. This has been my last wish.
Vegeta would recover completely, but before being able to say anything, he would be teleported by Goku to the Divine Kingdom. At the moment, Goku's energy would become much more chaotic, which this time would even make Genshi, the supposed most powerful warrior of all existing, panic.
What is this feeling? Is it fear? That can't be, because I'm the most powerful warrior in all existence. I can't be shaking with a warrior who doesn't even exude energy.
Genshi, even though his body warned him not to attack that warrior without caring, he had launched himself against him. At the moment the Genshi was able to connect a kick, his leg would be torn off in a single movement by Goku. A chilling scream could be heard all over the place. However, for Genshi to keep quiet, Goku sadistically would point an energy sphere into Genshi's mouth, which would be able to pulverize his tongue. Genshi would fall to the planet where large amounts of blood was coming out of his mouth. Genshi, likewise, being a superior warrior, was able to heal himself, but the pain was incredible.
What the hell? How's he been able to cause me so much damage with a few moves? This must be crazy.
Goku would start walking towards where Genshi was, but from one moment to the next, he was giving him a beating, from which Genshi wasn't able to do anything to defend himself. That's right, on this occasion, Genshi was not able to see where they were hitting him, falling back to the ground.
I don't know who the hell you got all this power from, but I'm not going to end your damn life right now, you good-for-nothing. I warned you that I had a lot more hidden power.
Genshi would immediately expel all the power he was hiding, but unlike Goku's power, he wasn't able to generate any anomalies in the universe.
I hope that you're ready, damn worm. At this moment, so pray for your life. I'll not forgive you, miserable worm. I'll make you suffer in the most agonizing way.
But before Genshi continues talking, Goku, with a sneaky punch to his stomach, was able to send him to a planet in which he had caused incredible damage. That's right, it didn't matter that he used all his power, because this time, the power that Genshi used did not compare in the slightest with the power of the 4-star sphere. Goku would begin to approach Genshi, while everything around him seemed to collapse. Even the dimension itself was wobbling due to so much energy. For his part, in the realm of Daishinkan was very worried about the state that Son Goku had been able to reach.
Daishinkan, what is that state? Kakarot's much more aggressive. Even his power seems to have no limit. This is bad, because if Mr. Goku's able to defeat Genshi, the new enemy we will have is Mr. Goku himself, since the power he's using will corrupt him completely.
But Father, that will be the annihilation of everything we know, because if Mr. Goku's able to finish with Genshi, he'll be able to finish with all of us if we're simple worms.
I know, Whis, since that power even surpasses the great Zeno-sama, but it doesn't matter that the king completely accessed his combat form. The power that Son Goku is releasing is able to crush him with just one of his hands. In that case, we'll have to find if an alternative is able to release all the negative energy that's invading the body of the Kakarot insect. It's easy to say, but it'll be very complex to realize it, since the power he is using knows no limits. Really, in this situation, I don't know what I can do.
Returning to the battlefield, Goku, instead of ending Genshi's life, would begin to humiliate him in the worst way. In the most humiliating way possible, so after a few minutes, Genshi's battle spirit had completely disappeared, because in all his existence, he had never been humiliated in such a way.
Wow, did you get tired of playing? Move! Do something! I want to keep playing with you!
Ah, damn it. My divine soul hurts too much. Even more than my own body. This blows off the fuckers so powerful that they're even capable of hurting my soul.
Genshi would be taken out of his thoughts when a sphere of energy had made him fly to a planet in which he had caused a great disaster. And at the moment, hundreds of more explosions would trap Genshi, who was not able to do anything to defend himself.
Apparently you've grown tired of my boxing toy. So in that case, I'm planning to rip off each of your limbs. When you can't stand the pain anymore, I'll finish with you.
Goku would start ripping off his legs, which would make Genshi's screams heard even up to the divine realm, while Goku's negative aura would continue to grow. The incredible power that Goku possessed on this occasion had been able to even put the powerful Genshi to eat dirt. That's right, Genshi, the best warrior of all, had been humiliated by Goku, although it was really the power of the 4-star sphere which had been corrupted, which would make Goku this time much wilder because the evil was taking over more and more of his body. Genshi at the time would notice how Goku would turn his back, so regardless of his pride as a warrior with his maximum speed, he would speed away from this battlefield. However, all this would be in vain because it were as if the planet Genshi would crash into Goku's chest. That's right, Goku's speed at this moment was incomprehensible, so instantly Genshi would feel as if he had crashed into a planet.
Well, what? Maybe you're not able to realize you're moving. If you're able to dodge me, I'll have you left alive, but I can tell you're a good for nothing.
Genshi would try to beg for his life, but a powerful kick from Goku was able to separate the head from his body, and a huge energy attack would pulverize him in his entirety.
I fulfilled to finish with that guy. So finally, I'm free from that sphere. At the moment, there's no one able to stop me.
Goku at that evil transformation would begin to destroy thousands of planets for each of the 12 universes. Even the barriers that the great priest along with King of all Zeno-sama had placed were useless because at the moment each barrier began to crack. That's right, no divine power was able to face the new Goku, which had been corrupted by the absolute evil.
No, I can't believe it! That at this moment the warrior we must defeat's Goku! No one has the power to face him. No, he's my disciple, so only I have the power required to be able to defeat him.
Daishinkan would get all of the energy barriers out that he created, so instantly he would expel 100% of all his power, which would attract the attention of Goku, who with incredible speed would arrive in front of Daishinkan.
So the priest wants to confront me. As far as I know, this body was your apprentice's, since by taking over his body, his memories are still intact.
I know that Son Goku would be willing to give his life, so that you will not make more chaos in all the 12 universes. So, I, as his teacher and friend, plan to eliminate you in this place.
Don't make me laugh. They weren't even able to beat that weak guy, much less they'll be able to do something against me. There are some insects.
But Daishinkan would disappear from that place, appearing in front of Goku, granting him a big punch in the stomach. The power had been overwhelming because he even destroyed a planet.
Don't get confused. I never said that I didn't have the necessary power to end Genshi, only that I didn't interfere in the timelines. But you belong in my timeline, so I can tear you apart without the divine laws punishing me.
Goku would begin to recover from the blow he had received from Daishinkan, which, at the moment of a smile, would release much more power, which made the great priest retreat a little. Goku, with a maniacal laugh, would throw himself against Daishinkan. At the moment, both began to have an incredible battle for each of the 12 universes. Their battle was devastating because the power in each of his fists was capable of even destroying planets, galaxies, and universes. Goku, while the battle was being coupled with the speed of Daishinkan, the one who had realized the same thing, Daishinkan was able to connect a headbutt, making him fall to the few bead mountains.
That guy has the same abilities. Mr. Goku was able to dock him. If I let him dock completely, I'll be lost.
The warrior would begin to rise that big crater, but at the moment of looking up, he was surprised to realize how an incredible attack was beginning to approach. That's right, such an attack contained an exaggerated amount of energy, which on this occasion was capable of finishing even with the king at all. But the most terrifying thing was that in its energy core, it contained hundreds of micronuclei, which would explode consecutively. That's right, instantly a big explosion would form, but inside, hundreds of more explosions were capable of pulverizing any warrior. No matter how tough he is, the power was amazing.
I had to use my most powerful technique, but I was able to end the life of that miserable.
As Daishinkan started to approach towards the barriers, a large silver-colored light would grow all over the place. That's right, instead of his power becoming much smaller, he had increased in a supernatural way.
I adore this body. It's amazing. It's capable of making me more and more powerful. Apparently with this body, I won't have any limits. Although I must admit that you are about to end my life, you priest.
Daishinkan's gaze would not change to an expression of terror, because it was his most powerful technique, but he wasn't able to recover from the amazing one because at that moment, Goku was able to connect an incredible blow to his face. Said blow was powerful enough to cause great devastation for the entire planet in which he had fallen.
Well, I never thought that this would be the final result. Apparently the disciple will be able to finish his master. What a tragic outcome.
No, I can't believe what's happening. This must be impossible. It's unreal. And I, the priest, lose against this warrior.
Goku would try to kick him when he was very close, but to his surprise, Daishinkan was able to move to the side, taking a little distance. However, Goku, without giving him time, had thrown himself against him, who began to exchange thousands of blows. But this time, his blows caused much greater devastation.
This is amazing. We won't be able to do anything since that guy is so relaxed. I know that expression of Kakarot's insect, and that guy still hasn't used all the power that's capable of releasing Kakarot's body.
No, you're lying, Vegeta. That's impossible. We know what he's able to absorb the negative energy of the Super Dragon Balls, but it's impossible that he has much more power. It's actually possible. Apparently that Saiyan knows this warrior very well. But he's right. This is only 64% of the maximum capacity of this body.
What did he say? This will be my end. I won't be able to do anything against him. His power seems to have no limit.
Well, apparently you started to feel the real terror. That's the expression I wanted to see so much, as your expression changes from hope to despair.
Goku would begin to approach while his whole body began to fill with flames. As his power began to increase much more, Daishinkan at this moment would begin to feel the authentic terror going through every part of his entire body, because the power that Goku began to release was able to even cut off Daishinkan's breath.
What a laugh this whole situation gives me. You came to face me believing you're the strongest, but look at you now. You're not able to do anything against me. You're nothing more than an insect.
Daishinkan at the moment, without caring, would put himself on guard, but without this one being able to do something against him, he was attacked in an incredible way. Since this time he no longer possessed the necessary power to face this powerful warrior, which, as if it were a punching bag, would begin to grant an incredible beating to Daishinkan, since the power that this warrior possessed completely surpassed.
No, I can't stay watching Daishinkan humiliated like this. We'll have to do something, because otherwise he'll end his life.
Mr. Vegeta, we don't even possess the power of a great priest. We'll only be a hindrance more, since he will try to protect us. Although it is hard for me to accept it, Whis is right. At the moment, there is no warrior who is capable of facing Goku.
Daishinkan would continue to receive a beating. Blows, kicks, energy spheres, they destroyed his body completely. However, Goku attacked furtively, avoiding the most important parts of any warrior, since he had the knowledge about the blows of Daishinkan, and knew that no one would be able to withstand a single one of those blows. And after a few minutes in which Daishinkan had been humiliated in the worst possible way, Goku, with a powerful kick, would send him to the ground, creating a large crater.
It's said that you're the most powerful warrior, but after all, it was nothing but some simple stupidity. You're nothing. You're nothing compared to me.
Daishinkan on the ground was starting to expel large amounts of energy, as on this occasion he wasn't even able to stand.
If I fall, That miserable worm will wipe out everyone present. This one I can't allow. I'm the guardian of the mighty Zeno-sama.
But before anything happens, as if it were a very superior entity, even space-time would crack, since an extremely powerful warrior would begin to make his appearance. Even each of his planets and inhabitants would return to normal, which left everyone amazed, but the power and pressure he was able to feel was incredible. But instantly, a powerful warrior would stand in front of Daishinkan, which Goku would immediately recognize.
This is impossible. This can't be happening. You shouldn't be able to be here. You're Zulma, the creator of the Super Dragon Balls.
Is it really Zulma? I thought he was in the Kingdom of Dragons, but this really is a real madness.
Your son Goku. I've seen every one of your actions, and I have decided to forgive your life. A being who is willing to die for his loved ones deserves my respect. But I will have to purify you.
No! I'm going to stay locked in that sphere again, to only be used when a useless person wants a wish.
Zama, without saying a single word, was able to grant millions of blows to Goku all over his body. The attack was so devastating, and at the same time so fast, that no one was able to see anything. They just watched as Goku was on the ground spitting out large amounts of blood.
No! I'm the perfect warrior! The being who will rise above all races!
You'll never been a perfect being. Since you, like me, are incomplete, none of us are perfect. You have ruined the tranquility of these universes.
I don't care if I ruin it or not. I don't plan to leave this body. And if you're still here, I swear, I'll kill you. I don't care if you're my creator.
Worm, don't underestimate me, because at this very moment I can end your pathetic life.
Son Goku's fury had grown in an incredible way, that without the need of a full moon, he was able to transform into an incredible Ozaru, which, with a simple roar, would try to destroy everything restored by Zulma again. But he hasn't been able to do absolutely anything to him.
All other restored planets, they're protected by my power. If you want to destroy them, you have to be much more powerful than me, because otherwise it'll be impossible for you.
The incredible Ozaru, without caring about the words of Zulma, would begin to attack him again and again. But it was completely in vain, since the power of Zulma was millions of times superior to the power of Goku. So at the moment, the god Zulma would expand his hands, and instantly, an incredible pure energy would begin to travel all over his body. Said energy was able to enter the body of the Ozaru, beginning to purify all the negative energy that Son Goku's body possessed. That's right, the energy that had corrupted to Goku in the sphere, it had been completely destroyed thanks to Zulma's energy. So instantly, the sphere would appear next to an unconscious Goku.
You have a powerful warrior who's capable of giving his life for you. Become much more powerful and take care of him. I am retiring.
Zulma would leave the place along with the 4-star sphere, so at the moment Daishinkan would begin to heal each one of Son Goku's wounds, while Corona would likewise approach both.
Wow, I never thought to lift something like that. This seems like something from another world.
Even I am amazed. The mighty Zulma possesses an unattainable power.
Goku would be able to wake up, being informed of everything that had happened, for which I was amazed. However, Goku would continue with the position that Daishinkan had granted him. That's right, because Genshi had fallen in this battle, the new missions were not of gravity, so Goku would stay focused on becoming much more powerful. It was a normal day in the life of the inhabitants of planet Earth. People were eating in restaurants, walking with their families. There were children playing when suddenly a giant lightning bolt was seen in the sky that caused a strong movement throughout the Earth's surface. Buildings collapsed. People could not stand up. Windows exploded. All this resulted in car accidents and injuries. At the moment, a child was going to be pierced by a giant glass that fell from a building. Very close by, we see how a being that we cannot distinguish who it is flies through the skies at great speed, rescuing people who were in danger due to the strong movement. At the precise moment when the child was about to die, that being rescues him, seeing how a huge piece of glass explodes against the ground. We see how this hooded being stands up from behind, revealing that it was none other than Goku, who had been hidden for a long time because Daishinkan and the angels wanted to see him dead. Goku, with a different appearance than the one we all know, after rescuing the boy, is amazed by the energy that emerges from the earth to the sky. We can see how Vegeta arrives at the place where Goku is together with the Z Warriors, who were still saving people from the disaster. Vegeta looks at Goku face to face and says, "Kakarot, insect, where have you been all this time?" At that moment, Gohan and Goten arrive and tell him,
Dad, where have you been?
"What happened to you, father?" All this happened while Piccolo, Krillin, Trunks, and Android 18 were rescuing the people affected by the movement. After having finished saving them, they arrive to where they are reunited with Goku and look at him very surprised. In a head-to-toe scan, we can see Goku's face very emaciated, with wounds and pronounced cheekbones because he had not tasted any kind of food for a long time. At that moment, we go back in time about 20 years ago. We see how Goku and his son Goten are walking together in the forest. Goku, talking to his son, says,
Hey, Goten, are you ready to fish today?
to which Goten replies,
Yes, Dad. Will you show me the fastest way to catch them?
Goku, happy for his son's enthusiasm, replies,
Of course, Goten, but this time I'm going to try something different. Watch this.
Goku dives into the water and after a short time comes out with a big jump with a huge fish moving on his hands. Goten, very surprised, says to his father,
Wow, Dad, how did you do that?
Goku, showing a very happy expression, says,
When I was little like you, Goten, I had to find my own food in order to live. You should try to give it a try.
Goten, very excited, says to his father,
I'll try.
And so Goten dives into the water to the joyful sight of his father, to which, on the first attempt, Goten fails to catch any fish. Seeing Goten's sad face, Goku encourages his son, saying,
Don't worry, Goten. It's a matter of practice and patience. The key is to be quick and not scare the fish.
So Goten dives in again, but this time it takes a long time to come out. When suddenly Goku feels a very powerful ki very close to where he was. Because of this, Goku worried about his son's dives in search of him. Once in the water, he sees Goten fainted and next to him a very strange artifact. Goku, worried about the state in which he found his son, swims to rescue him. At the moment, he was about to lift his son in his arms, ready to go to the surface. The strange artifact begins to emit a very sharp sound that only Goku hears. Wu, with a face of confusion and pain, tries to lift his son, but suddenly the artifact comes off the ground and permeates his chest. Once on his chest, the artifact stops emitting that strange sound and Goku stops feeling the ki of a moment ago. Goku does not take importance to what had happened to him and worried about his son. He lifts him up to get him out of the water. Once outside, Goku puts his son on the ground to revive him, but suddenly an unknown being appeared to him. This being had a greenish coat, blue hair with black tips, and it was a very strange appearance. But it did not seem to be something real. It looked like an illusion. Goku, upon realizing this being, became alert and put his son in good protection. After that, addressing the being, he asks him,
Who are you? What do you want here?
This being, without uttering a word, rushes at high speed towards Goku, who in an act of reflex manages to dodge the first blow. But the speed of the stranger exceeds him by far. Because of that, after dodging the first blow, the unknown being lunges with a kick to the head, which Goku barely manages to block, leaving his stomach exposed, where he takes the opportunity to impact a direct punch, automatically leaving Goku out of air, and thus returns to lunge with a blow to the nape of the neck. Goku, when he was about to lose consciousness, hears a voice in the distance that says, "Apparently this is my best guest that could touch me," saying this in a sarcastic way. "I hope my colleagues are in good condition." After hearing these words, Goku faints. A few minutes after the fleeting confrontation, Goku regains consciousness and realizing that the unknown being was no longer in the place, he looks for Goten, and when he finds him, he begins to unexpectedly and repeatedly call his name to make him react. Seeing that calling him had no effect, he feels his breathing and notices that he was almost not breathing. He creates an energy sphere in his hand and places it on Goten's chest. Once Goten revives the energy from his father, he reacts and spurts water from his mouth. Goten, with a puzzled expression, asks his father what had happened, to which Goku says, "I have the same question for you. What happened?" Goten tells him that at the precise moment he was about to capture the fish, he felt attracted to the artifact, which also tried to impregnate in his chest. At the time, Goten felt a strong source of energy that ran through every part of his body, which was very difficult to control, and felt how that strange energy weakened him until he lost consciousness and fainted. Goku in his thoughts, and that he also felt the same strange and very powerful energy running through his body, and worried about his son, asked him if he still felt that energy inside him. Goku calmly and a little puzzled told him no, that he only felt that when the artifact was trying to permeate him. While this was happening on Earth, Whis and Beerus went to the Kingdom of Everything to talk to Daishinkan, since they had noticed him very tense and worried. Once they were already in the Kingdom of Everything, Daishinkan appears with a very serious expression, while Whis and Beerus bow to him to show respect. Daishinkan, relieved to see that Whis and Beerus were with him, tells them something very strange and dangerous is about to happen. Whis, with a puzzled expression, asks, "What is it, father? We'd noticed a certain tension in the air as we reached the realm of the whole." Beerus, yawning without realizing the seriousness of the fright, says to him, "Trouble again? What could be so dangerous to make Daishinkan so worried?" "Serious? And worried, the High Priest?" To which Daishinkan replies, "Yes, I'm afraid so. A powerful entity has resurfaced, once we have not faced in a long time." Whis, with a very serious expression, says to him, "An unknown entity? Could it be one of the beings we left sealed away long ago?" "It is possible, Whis. Its energies are as dark as they are disconcerting. I cannot identify the source with certainty, but its power is overwhelming." Beerus, frowning, says, "Why should I worry about it? If it's that strong, I'll go and destroy it." Daishinkan, with a very serious expression, explains, "It's not that simple, Lord Beerus. This entity seems to have the ability to change even the most ancient gods. We cannot underestimate it." Whis thoughtfully asks his father, "How do you suggest we deal with this situation, father?" "We need to gather information before we act rashly. Whis, Beerus, I trust you with the task of investigating. Find out all you can about this entity and any weaknesses it may have." Beerus, smiling confidently, exclaimed, "Good, good. A little action won't hurt." Nodding, Whis replies, "We will be on our way, Daishinkan, but be aware that if this entity threatens our universe, we will not hesitate to take drastic measures." "I understand, Whis. May wisdom guide your actions, and may you return with the information we need." After that conversation, Whis and Beerus depart for the hitherto unknown destination, while Daishinkan watches with concern, aware of the gravity of the situation looming in the realm of everything. As they were on their way back to Earth to ask for Goku and Vegeta's help, Whis recalls that when they were on their way to the realm of everything, he sensed a very strong and dangerous key on planet Earth. Halfway through his quest in the universe, he stops and, confused, Beerus says to Whis, "What's wrong? Why are you stopping?" Whis, very serene, says to Beerus, "Oh, my dear Lord Beerus, it turns out on our way to the realm of everything, I detected a rather intriguing presence." Yawning, Beerus asks, "A mysterious entity? We didn't need to get any of what Daishinkan told us." Whis, with a nervous smile, replies, "Don't worry, Mr. Beerus. This time it doesn't seem to be a direct threat. I just felt a fleeting flash of power, something that crossed our path." Beerus frowns at Whis. "And you didn't give it any importance? Isn't that what Daishinkan was talking about?" "Well, the truth is, I didn't consider it an immediate threat. It was like a flash of power energy, but it disappeared as quickly as it came. It didn't seem to have any hostile intentions." Beerus, thinking about the situation, asks, "So what shall we do then? Does Daishinkan want us to investigate something like this?" "Yes, but I think the best option is to go ahead with our main mission, to find out what the entity has surfaced. The fleeting presence may be a mere detail compared to what awaits us." So Whis and Beerus went on their way through the universe, looking for the entity Daishinkan mentioned without giving so much importance to what happened on Earth. Back on Earth, the precise moment Goku rescued his son Goten, Goku, confused by what had happened to his son and the strange artifact that had impregnated in his chest, told Goten, "Let's go home immediately." As they flew on their way home, Goku tries to sense Vegeta's ki so he could teleport with him, as soon as he left his son with his mother Chi-Chi. At that moment, we see how Vegeta was already gathered by the Z Warriors, Krillin, Android 18, Piccolo, Tenshinhan, Chaos, Gohan, Future Trunks, and Master Roshi, who were talking about the strong and dark energy they had felt. Goku and Goten arrive home, and his mother, worried because they had taken a long time to return, runs to Goten and says,
Goten, son, are you alright?
to which Goten replies,
Don't worry, Mom. We're fine.
Chi-Chi raises her head to Goku and notices that he's very serious. She lowers her gaze a little and notices the strange artifact he had on his chest. Chi-Chi asks him,
Goku, what's that you have there? Are you alright?
Goku immediately changes his expression with a fake smile reply.
Oh, don't worry. It's nothing important.
Chi-Chi in a very insistent way,
Goku, don't fool me. What happened?
This thing I have on my chest. This very strange artifact I have on my chest. Well, it's a strange artifact, but I'm fine, really. I'm going to find out what it is and we'll get on with our lives.
Chi-Chi, worried about Goku, hugs him and says,
Promise me you'll come back, Goku.
To which Goku, with a smile, answers her yes. While he was about to make the teleportation, Goku says goodbye, saying to Goten,
Take care of your mother. I'll be right back.
He teleports. Moments before Goku arrived to meeting the Z Warriors, as they were at Bulma's house, they were talking about what they had felt a moment ago. Vegeta, with a very serious expression, asks,
Did anyone else feel that dark energy? I can't identify it, but it's disturbing.
Piccolo, frowning, replies,
Yes, I felt it. It's as if it disappeared immediately as soon as we felt it. Something's not right.
Gohan, very worried, says,
Dad, Goten are with my mother. We should look for them.
At that moment, Goku appears in front of them through teleportation and says very seriously,
Guys, I felt a strange presence. Something happened with Goten, but I rescued him.
Piccolo, analyzing everything that happened, notices something strange on Goku's body and asks him,
Goku, what's that artifact on your chest?
That's what I want to find out.
But before that,
I need to tell you something. To everyone's expectant and uncertain gaze, he says, The strange energy you felt came from this artifact in my chest.
Vegeta frowns and asks,
How's it possible? Does that device emit that energy?
Goku, somewhat worried, nods and says,
It seems so. The moment I rescued Goten, this artifact permeated my chest, and I began to feel an incredible amount of pressure coursing through every part of my body.
Piccolo, thinking about everything Goku was telling them, asks,
And how did it get in your chest?
The artifact was underwater right next to Goten, who had fainted. As soon as I was approaching it, it emitted a very sharp sound that didn't allow me to get close to Goten. Despite that, I managed to get close, and out of nowhere, it jumped in front of my chest to stay there. After everything that had happened with Goten, I tried to take it off, but when I did it again, it came back to permeate my chest. We must find out what this artifact is and why it has such a great amount of power. I'm counting on you.
Vegeta, determined, says,
Let's do it. We won't let any threat catch us off guard.
Future Trunks earnestly tells everyone,
I agree. Together, we'll figure out what's going on.
Goku thanks all his friends for the support they were giving him, but at that moment he changes his joyful expression to one of seriousness, as he remembered what had happened just before he lost consciousness. Gohan, noticing the sudden change in his father's expression, asks him,
Dad, what's wrong? Is there anything else you must tell us?
Vegeta adds,
Insect, you're not hiding anything from us, are you?
Goku remembered what had happened at that moment. With an expression of concern and anguish, he tells them about the fight he had with an unknown being, which exceeds his strength by far. And he remembers that the entity mentioned that he had colleagues that he had hoped would be alright. Piccolo, with fear but serene, says to Goku,
Are you sure of what you're saying? For what you are telling us is very dangerous. If he surpasses your strength by far, in that case we wouldn't stand a chance against him. We'd be a hindrance rather than a support, Goku.
Goku, after hearing that, tells him what he felt in the confrontation.
The moment the unknown being appeared, I felt the same amount and type of power and the dark ki that ran through my body as the strange artifact permeated my chest.
As soon as Goku finished telling what had happened, as soon as he got out of the water, Piccolo came up with an idea. It wasn't that far-fetched, but he could explain what the strange artifact was and why he was facing the unknown being. Piccolo, observing the artifact, turns to Goku saying,
This looks familiar. It may be like a containment urn, like the ones we used at the Mafuba to seal powerful beings.
Surprised Goku,
Really, Piccolo? Do you think this could be something like that?
Krillin, looking at the artifact,
An artifact like this one, used with the Mafuba on Goku's chest? Since when did battles become so complicated?
There's always something new with you Saiyans.
Master Roshi, somewhat excited, but at the same time serious, exclaimed,
Ah, my Fuba! I remember when we sealed King Piccolo with that. Do you think Goku has such a strong enemy inside?
Future Trunks, analyzing what had happened, says,
It makes sense. The Mafuba urns are powerful devices to contain evil energies. Could this artifact have sealed something?
I don't care if it's from the Mafuba or anywhere else. I just want to know how to get rid of this thing once and for all. It's a possibility. The urns we use to keep very strong enemies under control, but why did it attach yourself to Goku?
I'm not sure, but what I do know is that this energy is linked to a very powerful entity.
Whatever it is, if it's linked to that artifact, we cannot underestimate it. So what do you plan to do, Kakarot? At that moment, the Kaio-sama of the North telepathically communicates with Goku to tell him that he had information about the powerful energy that they felt, and the mysterious artifact that permeated his chest. Kaio-sama tells him to get to his planet quickly.
First, we need information. Kaio-sama has information about this artifact and the being that might be inside it. We must go to Kaio-sama so we can find out what we're dealing with.
Vegeta nods and Goku continues.
Exactly, but first, I need your help. If there are any more entities like this, the Earth could be in danger. And with this connection to the artifact, I could put them at risk. Therefore, I'll only go to Kaio-sama to get the information to get rid of this artifact.
Kakarot, don't even think that you'll do this alone. I'll go with you, insect. I can't accept that you become stronger than me. Goku accepts and asks him to put his hand on his shoulder. Once Goku and Vegeta left, the Z Warriors sensed unknown presences on the planet, so they split into groups and flew off at high speed to go investigate. With the reevaluation that the artifact at Goku's chest might be like a containment urn, similar to those used in Mafuba, the Z Warriors faced an increasingly complex and dangerous situation. Uncertainty about what such an artifact contains and how it is connected to the mysterious dark energy fills them with worry. While Goku and Vegeta were to where Kaio-sama and the Z Warriors went to investigate the unknown presences they had detected in space, Whis and Beerus, after having traversed much of space, felt a strong amount of dark energy, so they immediately head to where it was. As they are about to reach the source of the dark energy, the pressure in the air becomes more intense as they get closer, and the unknown entity awaits their arrival. Why do I feel like this is going to be more complicated than we thought?
Mr. Beerus, the information we gain here could be crucial to understanding the threat we face on Earth. The unknown entity, surrounded by a dark aura, reveals itself in front of Whis and Beerus. Its presence is overwhelming and a sinister laugh echoes in space. Unknown entity mockingly welcomes them, saying,
I expected your arrival. You took longer than I expected.
Do not underestimate the gods. We're here to stop any threat that endangers our universe.
Before any confrontation, can you tell us who you are and what you're doing here?
Oh, that's funny. I'm known as Ryuk, disciple of the Devourer of Worlds. I have come to free the Master, the most powerful being who ever lived. The expression on Whis' and Beerus' faces become much more serious upon hearing Ryuku's name. Ryuk, that name rings a bell.
Ryuk is an ancient threat, Lord Beerus. His master, he and the other disciples were sealed away a millennia ago due to his unquenchable thirst for power and destruction.
So it looks like we have a problem. This time it won't be as easy sealing him again. The space fills with palpable tension as Ryuk, surrounded by a dark and malevolent aura, confronts Whis and Beerus. The dark energy emanating from him seems to distort the very fabric of space around him.
Problem, you say? You are correct, little god. The Master has been patiently awaiting your release, and now with my arrival, that time has finally come.
Beerus moves into combat stance with a determined expression on his face, while Whis remains composed but alert. I have no time for games. If your master is a threat, we'll stop you here and now.
Tell us more about your master. Understanding his motivations might help us find a peaceful solution.
Ryuk chuckles mischievously, revealing his sharp fangs, then disappears in a dark flash before reappearing behind Beerus with astonishing speed.
There's nothing they can do to stop the Master's inevitable resurgence, but before that, they could entertain me.
The battle begins. Ryuk throws a swift punch towards Beerus, but the Destroyer God nimbly dodges and responds with an energy punch that Ryuk blocks easily. Meanwhile, Whis watches carefully, waiting for the right moment to intervene. Ryuk's speed is impressive, but Beerus manages to keep up. They exchange blows and energy blasts in a combat that seems to defy the laws of space itself. Ryuk's dark energy distorts reality around him, making its impact more dangerous and intense.
Oh, Beerus, your speed is amazing, but that dark energy is problematic. I suggest you be careful with your movements.
Beerus nods as he dodges an enemy attack and counterattacks with an energy wave. Ryuk, undeterred, vanishes and reappears in front of Whis, challenging him to enter the fight.
And you, Assistant of the God, will you dare to face me?
Whis smiles serenely and disappears in a flash, only to reappear behind Ryuk.
I have no intention of fighting, but if that's what you wish.
Before Whis finishes his sentence, Ryuk turns around and launches his fierce attack towards him. Whis, with his extraordinary speed, dodges each blow with grace. Space convulsed with the fury of the cosmic confrontation between Whis, Beerus, and Ryuk. Each move shattered reality itself. As Ryuk's dark energy and the god's divine blast intertwined in a demonstration of opposing forces, Ryuk, his ominous figure shrouded in a dark aura, moved with breathtaking speed. His sinister left echoed through the emptiness of space, challenging the gods who faced him.
This guy's faster than I thought.
As Beerus' words fade away, Ryuk disappears in the blink of an eye and reappears in front of him with a punch charged with dark energy. Beerus manages to block the attack, but the force of impact sends shockwaves through space. Ryuk breaks away from Beerus with a smirk, and in a flash lunges towards Whis. His movements were fluid. Whis, on the other hand, moves gracefully, dodging each blow with the grace of a cosmic dancer.
This dark power is intriguing, but it is out of balance.
Ryuk, frustrated by Whis' evasive ability, concentrates his dark energy in his hands and launches it as a flare. Whis responds by creating an energy barrier, but the resulting collision sends shockwaves through space, shaking nearby stars. Beerus takes advantage of Ryuk's distraction and lunges at him with a punch charged with divine energy. Ryuk blocks the blow, but the resulting force causes an explosion that creates the ephemeral supernova in the cosmos. The fight continues with unmatched speed. Ryuk demonstrates his skill in anticipating the gods' moves, while Beerus and Whis unleash their divine power to counter the darkness that threatens to engulf them. In a moment of pause, Ryuk grins mischievously and his dark aura begins to intensify. A transformation was underway. The darkness concentrates around his body, forming a sort of dark cocoon that breaks, revealing a transformed figure. Now Ryuk has evolved. His previous form pales in comparison to the manifestation of his current power. His figure has become more imposing, with twisted shadows dancing around him as if they were extensions of his own essence. Sharp fangs glow with dark radiance, and his eyes emit a malevolent light.
Ha ha ha! This is just a glimpse of my true power.
Beerus and Whis exchange a worried glance. The pressure in the air becomes even more intense. Ryuk, now in his transformation form, launches himself towards the gods with outstanding speed. Beerus tries to counterattack with a sphere of divine energy, but Ryuk dodges each projectile with ease, moving through the bursts of light with supernatural agility. Meanwhile, Whis stands in reverse, watching the fight with analytical eyes. In a quick blink, Ryuk appears in front of Beerus and unleashes a series of vicious blows. The sonic sounds of punches and echoes kicked through space as the gods and devourer of worlds, discipled, plunge into a frenzy of combat. Beerus, struggling to keep up with Ryuk's speed, takes a direct punch to the stomach that sends him drifting into space. Before he can recover, however, Ryuk lunges at him and blasts him with a barrage of blows. The situation becomes even more complicated when Ryuk, in a ruthless act, concentrates dark energy in his hand and drives it through Beerus' abdomen. The Destroyer God lets out a roar of pain as darkness spreads from the point of impact. Whis, seeing the stark reality, springs into action. His figure flashes in space as he stands in front of Ryuk, blocking his attacks.
I cannot allow you to harm my lord in this way.
Whis' divine energy collides with Ryuk's darkness in a show of cosmic power. The battle intensifies and the fate of the universe hangs in the balance as the confrontation between light and darkness reaches its climax. The confrontation between Whis and Ryuk intensified as space became the stage for their fierce cosmic battle. The clash of divine and dark energies echoed in the void of the universe, creating ripples that stretched to the far reaches of space.
You think you can stop me, Whis?
The master of divine martial arts, Whis, maintained his serene composure as he resisted the onslaught of the Devourer of Worlds disciple. His divine aura glowed brightly, fighting against the darkness that threatened to envelop him. Whis, with a wave of his hand, unleashed a blast of divine energy that forced Ryuk back momentarily. However, the smile on the dark being's face revealed that he was far from giving up.
Ryuk, your quest for power will only lead to destruction.
Ryuk, releasing a sinister laugh, launched himself at Whis with renowned furiosity. Each exchange of blows was like a clash of titans, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance. Meanwhile, Beerus was recovering from the wounds inflicted by Ryuk, watching the battle with critical eyes. The darkness that had pierced his abdomen was beginning to dissipate thanks to divine regeneration, but the experience had left an indelible mark.
This creature's more formidable than I imagined.
And determined not to be a mere spectator, Beerus joined the battle with renowned determination. His figure flashed with divine energy that rivaled Whis's, creating a spectacle of light and shadow in space. The three powerful beings engaged in a cosmic dance, with flashes of divine and dark energy illuminating the vastness of the universe. Ryuk, without losing his smirk, took advantage of his transformation to increase his speed and strength, challenging the gods with every move. The combat reached new levels of complexity when Whis, in a flash of cunning, unleashed a divine teleportation technique. He moved at the speed of thought, appearing and disappearing at different points in space, keeping Ryuk on the defensive.
You can't dodge me forever, Whis.
As Whis and Ryuk clashed in space, Beerus focused on channeling his divine energy. The destroyer god sank into a meditative state, concentrating on unleashing his true power. Beerus' transformation was gradual but impactful. His figure was enveloped in a golden aura, and his eyes shone with the intensity of a star. Divine power flowed through him, manifesting in a form that only the mightiest gods could attain, allowing the grievous wound left by Ryuk to be healed.
It's time to put an end to this.
The reborn Beerus lunged towards Ryuk with unparalleled speed. Each blow he delivered was imbued with overwhelming divine energy. Ryuk, though powerful, was overwhelmed by the onslaught of the destroyer god. Meanwhile, Whis continued his cosmic ballet, defying the laws of space and time with his speed and agility. Every move was calculated, every blow strategically executed. The battle reached its climax as Beerus and Whis coordinated, combining their attacks to create a symphony of divine energy that enveloped Ryuk. The pressure in the air became almost tangible, and the cosmos itself seemed to rumble with the intensity of the conflict.
Do you have anything to say, Ryuk?
Ryuk, gravely wounded but still defiant, let out a shrill laugh. His figure writhed as the dark energy tried to resist the overwhelming pressure of the gods.
This is not the end, gods. My master will be released, and his darkness will devour all.
Beerus, showing no mercy, unleashed a sphere of concentrated divine energy and hurled it directly at Ryuk. The resulting explosion illuminated the space, dispelling the darkness that had lingered. Silence fell over the space as the gods watched the wreckage of the battle. Ryuk lay motionless, defeated, but not destroyed. His threat had been contained, at least for now.
This is not over. We need to find out more about his master and any threat that may arise.
Whis nodded, sharing the same determination. The reality of the danger that stalked the universe became more apparent, and the gods knew they had to prepare to face even greater challenges. The cosmic explosion that marked the end of the fierce battle dissipated into the vast space, leaving Whis and Beerus floating in momentary tranquility. As they regained their composure, a flash of gold announced the arrival of Daishinkan, the high priest, who appeared before them with a serene but worried expression.
I see you've dealt with the threat, dear Whis and Beerus.
Yes, Father. Ryuk has been contained, at least for now.
But this isn't the end, is it?
Daishinkan smiled wisely as he held in his hands a strange artifact, a glowing sphere that emanated an energy like the one they felt during the battle.
This is what I wanted to show you. It's known as the Sphere of Divine Containment, an ancient artifact capable of sealing beings of great power and darkness.
Beerus and Whis watched intently as Daishinkan explained the function of the sphere and how it was used to keep the most dangerous entities in the universe at bay.
This artifact has been kept in safekeeping for eons. It's only brought to light in extreme situations. The dark energy they felt came from one of these sealed entities, released by Ryuk's recklessness.
Whis and Beerus exchanged worried glances as they assimilated the information.
Who are these sealed entities? They are beings from the distant past, fallen gods and creatures whose thirst for power make them uncontrollable. The Sphere of Divine Containment is our safeguard against their resurgence.
So, Ryuk was one of them, and his master?
His master is the Devourer of Worlds, an even more ancient and dangerous being. His release could jeopardize existence itself.
The gravity of the situation hung heavy in the air as Daishinkan continued to explain the importance of keeping the Sphere of Divine Containment safe and sealing Ryuk again.
Now that Ryuk has been contained, it's crucial that he returns to his place of safekeeping. But we also need to get information from him. We need to know more about the Devourer of Worlds' plans and any threats that may arise.
Beerus, Whis, and Daishinkan shared a determined look. The task was not complete. There is still work to be done.
If interrogating Ryuk could give us answers, we'll do so, but we must proceed with caution.
The information we gathered will be essential to prepare for future threats. Also, we need to reinforce the security of the Sphere of Divine Containment. Daishinkan, with a nod of his head, showed his approval of the god's decision.
Very well. Let us return to the realm of all and set preparations in motion. The safety of the universe depends on us.
The three gods, with the glowing sphere in hand, teleported to the realm of all, ready to confront the shadows of the past and ensure the stability of the universe. The spheres of divine containment, now more than ever, became the beacon of hope amidst the darkness that threatened to emerge. Meanwhile on Earth, the Z warriors, divided into groups, scattered into the sky in the direction of the unknown presences they had sensed on the planet of the northern Zeno-sama. In the air, they moved at impressive speeds, ready to face any threat that crossed their path. On Zeno-sama's planet, Goku and Vegeta appeared thanks to teleportation, scarring Zeno-sama with serious and determined expressions. Zeno-sama, who was waiting for them, welcomed them with nervous gestures.
Goku, Vegeta, I'm glad you came so quickly. The information I have is crucial.
We need to know what this artifact is and what threat it poses.
We don't have time to waste. What do you know?
Zeno-sama nodded and led the Saiyans to his small home on the planet. Once inside, they unfolded an ancient scroll that revealed information about a mystical artifact known as the Cosmic Core of Containment. He explained that this artifact was used by the ancient gods to seal entities of great evil and power, preventing them from wreaking havoc in the universe.
This artifact is so ancient that there are hardly any records of its creation. It was thought to be lost, but apparently all this time it was hidden on planet Earth.
And how is it supposed to be sealed?
Tell us at once.
Zeno-sama explained that the Cosmic Core of Containment could be opened by a being of great power, but in doing so, the seal would be transferred to the first being it encountered. If the seal was not broken immediately, it would merge with that being, granting it power, but also binding it to the duty of keeping the evil sealed.
And how the heck did it end up in Goku's chest?
That's the puzzling thing. It seems that this artifact shows Goku as its carrier.
Goku, with an expression of astonishment, began to grasp the magnitude of the situation. He was now the bearer of an artifact containing an entity of indescribable evil. So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control?
What an honor, Kakarot! It seems you've become the guardian of evil.
But there is something else. The being sealed inside the urn is incredibly powerful. He is known as Bahamut, the Devourer of Worlds. It is an ancient entity that has consumed entire worlds.
The gravity of the situation was reflected on the faces of Goku and Vegeta. Not only did they have to face the mysterious artifact in Goku's chest, but also the dark entity sealed within. Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and, at the same time,
figure out how to free ourselves from this burden.
Yes, make no mistake, Kakarot. If this threatens Earth, I'll not hesitate to stop you.
Meanwhile on Earth, the Z Warriors faced unusual pressure as they prepared for combat. Each group was ready to deal with the entities they had sensed at Bulma's house, which were minions of Bahamut, the Devourer of Worlds. The dark energy surrounding these minions was intense, and the very air seemed to vibrate with their malevolent presence. The group of Krillin, Master Roshi, and Android 18 encountered one of Bahamut's 4 minions standing on the ground, humanoids with a black, malevolent aura. The Z Warriors prepared for the confrontation with Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, adopting combat stances. In a chaotic dance of dark energy and flickering explosions, the confrontation between the Z Warriors and Bahamut's henchmen unfolded on the cosmic stage of Earth's defense. Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, 3 warriors of varying experience and skills, faced a dark menace that threatened to plunge the planet into an abyss of destruction. The stage was permeated with a tense atmosphere as the 3 warriors assumed combat stances, ready to defend the Earth against Bahamut's henchmen, a being whose malevolent aura eclipsed even the intensity of the sun.
I don't know who you are, but we'll not allow you to harm our planet!
Krillin's words echoed in the air, charged with determination. Bahamut's henchman, a humanoid with a black malevolent aura, advanced with ferocity, launching a dark attack. Krillin, in a display of amazing agility, dodged the attacks, moving like a gust of wind across the battlefield.
Kaizen!
In the blink of an eye, Krillin created his signature energy disc and launched it towards the henchman. Kaizen spun furiously, cutting through the air as it headed towards its target. However, the henchman displayed unmatched skill as he dodged the spinning attack, moving with an agility that defied comprehension. The henchman counterattacked with a series of dark, swift strikes, but Krillin was unwilling to give up. With precise and quick movements, he blocked most of the attacks, responding with quick and precise counterattacks. The combat dance between Krillin and the henchman painted a picture of speed and skill, where each movement could change the tide of the battle. Meanwhile, Master Roshi, the aged warrior with vast experience in martial arts, watched the confrontation with a knowing smile. He adopted a firm posture, waiting for his moment to intervene.
You've chosen the wrong man to fight. I've seen more battles than you can imagine.
As Bahamut's henchman lunged towards him, Master Roshi moved with unique grace, dodging the attacks with precise movements and counterattacking with a series of energy blasts. The old man's experience and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge for the henchman, who was forced to deploy all his skills to confront the master. On the other hand, Android 18, the android warrior with formidable strength, advanced towards the henchman with determination. Her eyes glowed with an intense blue light as she unleashed her powerful android energy. Do not underestimate the strength of androids. With a quick wave of his hands, Android 18 launched a wave of energy towards the henchman. The latter, though impressed by the ferocity of the android warrior, showed no signs of recoiling. Instead, it lunged toward her with surprising speed, throwing dark blows that Android 18 dodged with cybernetic agility. The battle between Android 18 and the minion was a display of strength and speed, the bursts of energy lighting up the sky. Both fought with an intensity that could shake the foundations of the universe. Meanwhile, Android 18, a formidable warrior created by Dr. Gero, was ready to demonstrate her immense power. She charged her energy, her body radiating a red glow, and lunged towards the henchman with determination. Don't underestimate me. I'm stronger than you think. The henchman responded with a sudden surge of his dark aura, unleashing a surge of energy that pushed Android 18 back. The force of the impact created a shockwave, kicking up dust and debris in its wake. The battle was intense. Every move had a purpose and every attack resonated with the Z Warriors' determination to protect their home. Explosions of energy followed one after another, lighting up the battlefield like fireworks in the dark night of space. However, the true magnitude of the threat was yet to be fully revealed. This henchman was only one of 4 sent by Bahamut, and the fate of Earth depended on the ability of the Z Warriors to pass this first test. On the horizon, the other 3 minions awaited their turn, ready to plunge into the fray and test their bravery and skills of Earth's defenders. the intensity of the battle increased with each moment, and while Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi fought against the henchmen, other groups of Z warriors faced similar challenges in different locations around the planet. The fate of the Earth hung in the delicate balance of the unfolding cosmic battle, and each warrior was determined to give everything for the survival of his home. While the first group of warriors were defending Earth on Kaio-sama's planet in the small house, it was permeated with a tense atmosphere and solemnity as Goku, Vegeta, and Kaio-sama were immersed in the gravity of the situation. The ancient scroll spread out on the table revealed the secrets of an ancient artifact, and the weight now rested on Goku's shoulders.
So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control?
The responsibility rested on Goku like a heavy mantle. The cosmic core of containment, that ancestral artifact, had chosen Goku as its carrier, and within it was Bahamut, the devourer of worlds. The gravity of the situation was reflected in the eyes of the Saiyan, who was already mentally preparing himself for a colossal task ahead.
What an honor, Kakarot. Seems you've become the guardian of evil.
The irony of Vegeta's voice did not go unnoticed. While his words might have been sarcastic, the determination in his eyes indicated that, despite any jokes, they were in this together.
But there's something else. The being inside the artifact is incredibly powerful.
The information left Goku and Vegeta silent. Bahamut, the name echoed in their minds like the distant echo of a coming storm. Consuming entire worlds was a threat they could not underestimate.
Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and at the same time figure out how to free ourselves from this burden.
The pact was sealed. Together, Goku and Vegeta would take on the challenge of containing Bahamut and discovering a way to free themselves from the burden they now carried. The remaining question was how they would confront the dark entity that lay in Goku's chest. But before they could formulate a plan, a vibration in the air alerted them to the arrival of others.
It seems your friends are in trouble. Go help them.
Goku and Vegeta nodded in a gesture and understanding and, with serious expressions, headed for the door. With a mighty leap, they launched themselves into the sky, ready to join the battle raging on planet Earth. At the moment that Kaio-sama gave the information to Goku and Vegeta, on Earth appeared another henchman of Bahamut who met with the duo of Daishinkan. This henchman of Bahamut seemed to be an expert in dark martial arts. He moved with supernatural agility, challenging the Z warriors with swift and lethal movements.
Do not underestimate the strength of humans. Kikoho!
Daishinkan launched his powerful Kikoho attack, creating an explosion of energy that enveloped Bahamut's henchmen.
This is no ordinary enemy. I must use my powers wisely.
Chaos unleashing his magic, creating illusions and distractions to confuse Bahamut's henchmen. The battle was unfolding on multiple levels, with the Z warriors fighting against this enemy who seemed to understand the combat arts in unexpected ways. At that moment, realizing that the power with which they were facing Bahamut's henchmen was not enough to stop him, thanks to Chaos's distraction, they took the opportunity to try to escape. But they did not count on the great speed of their rival who, realizing that they wanted to escape, caught up with them, disappearing from the place where he was and appearing in front of them. At the precise moment in which he was about to eliminate Chaos and Daishinkan, two people appeared between them and their rival Goku and Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta, with their gazes fixed on Bahamut's henchmen, shared a silent understanding. The gravity of the situation was clear on their faces, but there was no room for doubt.
Daishinkan! Chaos! Go and warn the others about this threat. We need time to deal with this.
We don't want them to get hurt because of us. Go! We'll take care of this.
Daishinkan and Chaos nodded, recognizing the determination in the Saiyans' voices. Wasting no time, they sped away, leaving Goku and Vegeta facing their formidable opponent. Bahamut's henchman, emanating overwhelming darkness, showed no signs of backing down. His eyes glowed with malice, aware of the battle ahead. The Z warriors were prepared to face any threat, and this would be no exception.
It's clear that this won't be easy.
That's what makes it exciting. Let's do it, Kakarot.
Goku and Vegeta charged at Bahamut's henchmen with impressive speed. At the moment when both warriors were fighting a battle that could change the fate of Earth, This being, who presented himself as Bahamut's henchman, this dark entity with a humanoid shape but a bird's head, was going to be surprised by the abilities of the Saiyan warriors. In the middle of the combat, of all the show of strength between both warriors and this dark being, Takagami, with a confused face but confident that his strength was far superior to that of these earthly warriors, thought, "I'm amazed at the strength these earthly beings possess. I guess they deserve to know who'll kill them." Then at that moment he told them with a malevolent smile, he said, "I've been surprised by warriors. That's why they deserve to know my name. I'm Takagami, sacred god of darkness, follower of the supreme god Bahamut." Goku, very surprised of what he's hearing, said, "More gods? This sounds very dangerous and it's exciting."
Bug, shut up! The life of this planet's at risk, and you get excited about a being that's very powerful.
The speed of the combat accelerated as Goku and Vegeta pounced on Takagami. The energy in the air became dense, vibrating with the intensity of the impending confrontation. Takagami, with his dark aura, stood his ground, disdainfully watching the approaching Saiyans. "Do you think you have a chance against the power of darkness?" Goku and Vegeta continued their advance, wasting no time in unnecessary words. In the blink of an eye, they were in front of Takagami, unleashing a gale of blows. Takagami, with surprising agility, dodged many of the attacks, but some managed to land, demonstrating the strength of the Saiyans. "Don't underestimate the power of a Saiyan!"
Come on, God of Darkness, show us what you can do.
Takagami responded to the challenge, unleashing his own fury. His speed and combat skills were amazing, deflecting the blows of Goku and Vegeta with subtle movements. The battle turned into a whirlwind of punches, kicks, and ki blasts, lighting up the sky with flashes of light and darkness.
They're just insects in front of the power of eternal darkness.
Goku in his base state and Vegeta, with their pride as the Saiyan Prince, continued to put pressure on Takagami. However, as the battle progressed, Takagami began to reveal more of his true power. His dark aura intensified and his form subtly changed, revealing a transformation that increased his power exponentially.
This can't be good.
Goku, always excited for a challenge, added, "Vegeta, get ready! This is getting interesting." Takagami's increased power created an overwhelming pressure on the battlefield. His speed increased dramatically, and his strength eclipsed that of the Saiyans. However, Goku and Vegeta were not intimidated. With determination, they raised their own power of levels, taking the battle to new heights. The fighting continued with swift attacks and explosions shaking the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, now in more advanced forms, kept up the pace, challenging Takagami at every turn. However, despite his efforts, the sacred god of darkness proved to be a formidable adversary.
This is entertaining, but your resistance is useless. The darkness consumes everything.
Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, exchanged determined glances. "Vegeta, it's time to go further!"
Huh, of course, Kakarot.
As Chaos and Ten Shinhan rushed to warn the other Z warriors, the confrontation between Goku, Vegeta, and Takagami entered a new level of intensity. The struggle for the fate of the universe was in full swing. A cosmic battle was raging on planet Earth, where darkness and light collided in a frantic dance of energy. Goku and Vegeta, the brave Saiyans, were facing Takagami, the Falcon, sacred god of darkness. The intensity of the combat resonated in the universe, and every movement threatened to tear reality itself apart. Takagami, who had increased his power, floated in the air with an imposing presence and dark aura. His eyes glowed with malice as he watched the Saiyans, who stood firm, prepared to defend their fate of the planet. In response to their enemies' increased power, Goku and Vegeta channeled their ki to the maximum, raising their power to the Super Saiyan.
Vegeta, this guy's strong, but that only means that this fight will be even better. Huh, of course, Kakarot. This is our time to shine.
The planet Earth vibrated with the energy released by the three contenders. The distant stars seemed to pale before the magnitude of the conflict. The clouds were dissipated by such a demonstration of power. Takagami, with his increased speed, lunged at Goku with a darkness-laden punch. Goku, using his elasticity and quickness, dodged gracefully, leaving a trail of flashes around him by the speed at which Takagami was lashing out with his nigh-speed punches. Vegeta, with a burst of ki, stepped between Goku and Takagami, blocking an attack that would have been devastating his fellow Saiyan. The shockwave from the collision sent debris in all directions.
I expected nothing less from you, sacred god of darkness.
Takagami defiantly unleashed a series of dark blasts towards Goku and Vegeta. The Saiyans responded with perfect timing, countering each attack with precise strikes and energy waves. The scene looked like a combat symphony, where every movement was choreographed with divine precision. Goku, with a twinkle in his eye, concentrated his energy on his hands. A bluish sphere of energy began to form, growing in size and luminosity. Vegeta, observing the familiar technique, smiled as he recognized the power that Goku was summoning. A colossal energy wave fired by Goku shot through the sky like lightning, hitting Takagami squarely. However, the darkness was absorbing the energy, and the Falcon emerged unscathed, laughing disdainfully.
Is that all you have, Saiyan?
While Goku was recovering from the effort of his attack, Vegeta launched himself at Takagami with supersonic speed. His fist slammed into the Dark God, creating a shockwave that shook the air. However, Takagami responded with a burst of energy that sent Vegeta backwards.
Ah! Damn, this guy's stronger than I thought.
Goku, recovering, joined the battle again. Both Saiyans, aware that they were facing a formidable enemy, decided that it was time to take the fight to the next level.
Vegeta, how about we show what we can really do? Of course, Kakarot. Let's do it.
Goku and Vegeta began to accumulate energy around them. The atmosphere was charged with an intensity of their ki as they unleashed their advanced forms. Goku transformed into the Super Saiyan Blue, while Vegeta assumed his evolved form, the evolved Blue Super Saiyan. Are they taking each other seriously now? Goku and Vegeta, with their new forms, advanced towards Takagami with renewed determination. The speed and strength of the Saiyans were now incomparable. The impacts resounded like cosmic thunder, creating a symphony of destruction in the sky. The battle became even more intense. Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their movements, attacked Takagami with an impressive combination of techniques and melee attacks. The Falcon, despite its power, was overwhelmed by the ferocity of the Saiyans.
Final flash!
The bursts of energy, one blue and one golden, converged into a titanic explosion that engulfed Takagami. Light and darkness mixed in a burst of dazzling colors. However, when the explosion dissipated, Takagami emerged once more, his form slightly battered, but his determination intact.
His power is awesome, but I'm a god. The darkness cannot be defeated so easily.
Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, continued the offensive. The speed of his combat reached levels that defied comprehension. Punches and kicks were exchanged in a split second, creating a glow of cosmic collisions.
Big Bang attack! Kaioken 20 times!
The energy exploded again, shaking the sky with its fury. However, Takagami, with his divine resistance, withstood the attacks. The battle raged across the cosmos, with the warriors disappearing and reappearing in flashes of light and shadow. In the middle of the struggle, Goku and Vegeta began to feel an overwhelming pressure. Takagami's darkness seemed to expand, defying even the limits of the most powerful Saiyans. Reality itself was twisting under the influence of dark energy.
This darkness is incredibly strong. We can't back down now, Kakarot. We must get over this.
Both Saiyans raised their powers even more. The fight reached a new peak of intensity. The Saiyan was exploding like fireworks in the vastness of the night sky, lighting up the darkness with flashes of determination and defiance. Takagami, at the epicenter of the storm, smiled ominously.
Now you'll see the true power of eternal darkness.
The universe trembled as the battle reached its climax. The warriors were fighting for the fate of everything they knew, and the question that lingered in space was whether the light of the Saiyans could overcome the darkness of the sacred god. The planet Earth rumbled with the intensity of the cosmic battle. Goku and Vegeta, drenched in sweat, maintained their advanced forms as they prepared for Takagami's next assault. Darkness was emanating from his figure, but something seemed out of place. The Dark God's skin had a grayish hue, as if he had not yet completed the possession of its wearer. Takagami, with a guttural laugh, seemed to notice the perplexity in the Saiyan's expressions.
Surprise, Saiyans! I've not yet revealed all my power.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged puzzled looks. Something was not right, and both warriors felt it. At that moment, Takagami convulsed. A new form shook, as if he was fighting against something. An invisible force seemed to pull at him from within.
No, I haven't taken complete control yet.
Suddenly, a burst of dark energy enveloped Takagami, hiding him from view. The Saiyans were on guard, prepared for any surprise. Their energy in the air became denser, as if the cosmos itself was on the verge of transformation.
What's going on?
Before they could form any more questions, the dark energy dispersed, revealing Takagami's true form. However, what they saw took their breath away. At the moment of arriving at his true form, he let himself see the body he was possessing. This body was Yamcha's. Once the warriors saw that, Takagami completed his bird-headed humanoid form. And now the true form of the sacred god of destruction was clearly revealed. The falcon's head was clearly shown, with a defined musculature but a thin body, wearing blue Egyptian clothes with gold bracelets and a gold necklace. Huge wings which disappeared and appeared at their whim. Now Takagami had something going for him. He was playing against the Saiyan warriors. Not only should he defeat them, but they should also avoid harming Yamcha.
That's what Yamcha looks like!
Takagami's rumbling laughter filled the space. Now completely in possession of Yamcha's body, the Dark God was displaying a malevolent smile.
That's right, Saiyans. This weak body belongs to me now.
Vegeta gritted his teeth furiously.
Damn it! How dare you possess one of us? It's not just one Saiyan. Soon all of you will become Baumut puppets.
The reality of the situation hit Goku and Vegeta, but the force of the cosmic impact, the dark entity they were facing, was not only a dark god, but also had the power of possessing earthling warriors. Yamcha, now inside the sacred god of darkness, did not have any sign of consciousness. The god had taken control of his being completely.
Ha 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 ha! There's no escape. Baumut will be released, and this universe will fall into eternal darkness.
Goku and Vegeta shared a determined look. They knew the threat was even greater now. Not only were they fighting a dark god, they were also faced the possibility of losing their friends and allies in this fight.
Vegeta, we have to find a way to free Yamcha and stop Takagami.
Of course, Kakarot. But first, we have to deal with this dark god.
The battle continued, but now the situation was more desperate. Takagami, with Yamcha's body, unleashed an unstoppable fury. The Saiyans struggled not only against eternal darkness, but also against the weight of facing one of their own companions. Explosions of energy lit up the sky, but the inner struggle of Goku and Vegeta was equally intense. Every blow, every burst of ki resonated with the promise of freeing Yamcha and saving the universe from the threat of Baumut. But Takagami wasn't going to give up so easily.
Do you think you could beat one of the World Eater's henchmen?
The dark energy intensified in the ultimate form of the sacred god of darkness. Now, the freedom to be able to use all his power launched relentless attacks. Goku and Vegeta, with their advanced forms, were fighting with all their might, but the darkness had a firm grip. The struggle dragged on. Every moment seemed like an eternity. Yamcha, although he was just a contender for Takagami, at one point during the fight showed signs of pain on his face. It was as if his very essence was fighting against the darkness that was consuming her.
Yamcha, hold on! Let's get you out of this!
But Goku's words were lost in the storm. Takagami, with a maniacal laugh, continued his assault. The Earth, witness of this cosmic conflict, trembled before the magnitude of the confrontation between light and darkness. Somewhere far away, Chaos and Ten Shinhan, after alerting the other Z warriors about the threat, returned to the battlefield. Seeing the situation, Ten Shinhan's face filled with fury as Chaos clenched his fist determinedly.
Takagami, I'll make sure you pay for this!
Both warriors joined the fight, but even with their abilities, facing a dark god who possessed one of his own would not be so easy. The battle turned into a desperate struggle to face Yamcha and stop Baumut before he was released. During the chaos, Goku and Vegeta shared a look of determination. The darkness could be powerful, but the light of the Saiyans would shine even in the darkest moments. The battle for the fate of the universe was far from over, and Earth's heroes were ready to face any challenges that stood in their way. Taking a trip to the past, one day before the strange artifact was impregnated into Goku's chest, after rescuing his son Goten, Yamcha, oblivious to the imminent danger that was coming, was exploring an ancient Egyptian pyramid during an archaeological expedition. The atmosphere was charged with mystery and the promise of amazing discoveries. Deep inside the pyramid, Yamcha stumbled upon an ancient artifact that was glowing with a dim light. It was an Egyptian bracelet decorated with intricate hieroglyphs. Fascinated by her beauty and attracted by an inexplicable force, Yamcha could not resist and placed the bracelet on his wrist. The moment the bracelet touched his skin, a strange sensation enveloped Yamcha. It was not painful or threatening, but rather captivating. An ancestral connection was established between the earthly warrior and the Egyptian artifact. What Yamcha didn't know was that this artifact contained an ancient power linked to the age of gods and legends. As the light from the bracelet merged with Yamcha, an ancient presence awoke. It was the essence of an ancient god that was lying asleep inside the artifact. However, this being was neither malevolent nor benevolent. It was simply an ancestral force seeking to join a mortal existence, or at least that was what Yamcha felt at that moment. The god, by merging with Yamcha, granted him abilities and knowledge beyond his comprehension. Yamcha felt with a strength and connection to the story itself. The fusion, although puzzling at first, resulted in a unique symbiosis between the earthly warrior and the divine entity. Yamcha didn't know what the bracelet actually was. Returning to the battle, every moment became more challenging for Goku and Vegeta and the earthly warriors. Takagami, now completely liberated, unleashed a destructive force that tested even the most powerful Saiyans. In an effort to turn the tide of the battle, Ten Shinhan and Chaos joined the fight. Both warriors, aware of the threat possessed by Takagami, threw themselves into the fray bravely. His unique skills and determination added a new dynamic to the conflict, but even with his intervention, the darkness persisted.
Ten Shinhan, keep the pressure on. We cannot allow this darkness to take over our world.
Ten Shinhan nodded, concentrating his energy on coordinated attacks with Goku and Vegeta. Despite their combined efforts, Takagami remained a relentless adversary. As the battle reached its peak, Goku and Vegeta, exhausted but without losing their determination, shared a look of mutual understanding. They knew they needed an extra power to face Takagami at his finest. Instantly, an idea crossed their minds of the Saiyan's fusion.
Vegeta, I know it's not something you prefer, but I think it's our only option. I don't like to admit it, Kakarot, but I agree with you. If we want to stop this monster, we need all the power we can get.
Both warriors assumed the necessary postures to perform the fusion dance. The energy of Goku and Vegeta intertwined in a brilliant flash, and within seconds, an entirely new warrior emerged. Gogeta in his base form, the supremely powerful fusion of the two Saiyans.
It seems the occasion requires it. Now, Takagami, get ready. So you think a ridiculous fusion will be able to stand up to my power?
Gogeta rushed towards Takagami with amazing speed. The matchup that followed was an unmatched display of skills. Gogeta dodged Takagami's attacks with grace, fighting back with overwhelming force. However, the darkness that enveloped the Dark God proved to be a formidable challenge. During the intense battle, Ten Shinhan and Chaos continued to bravely fight, but the price of a confrontation was already becoming apparent. Takagami, taking advantage of the distraction, launched a devastating attack that left Ten Shinhan and Chaos seriously injured. Goku and Vegeta, seeing their companions in danger, felt a surge of rage. Gogeta redoubled his efforts, attacking with renewed ferocity. However, Takagami, aware of the situation, diverted his attention to Ten Shinhan and Chaos.
Feeling the despair, Saiyans? Soon this world will witness its end.
Goku and Vegeta, full of rage and determination, increased their speed. They knew they needed to do something before Takagami carried out his threats. The battle reached its climax when Gogeta launched a massive attack on Takagami, seeking to break his resistance. However, the darkness surrounding Takagami intensified, revealing a surprise resistance. It was then that Ten Shinhan and Chaos, still on the ground, exchanged a determined look. They knew that whatever they had to do to give Gogeta a chance to defeat Takagami.
Goku, Vegeta, you need time. I'll take care of holding this monster. I'll come with you, Ten Shinhan. Together we'll be the barrier they need.
Goku and Vegeta, although reluctant to lose their friends, went at full speed to avoid what they had in mind.
Don't do it, Ten Shinhan! Chaos!
Ten Shinhan and Chaos stood up, ignoring the pain coursing through their bodies. With determination, they faced Takagami, resisting his attacks with all their might. Gogeta, seeing the situation, understood the magnitude of the sacrifice they were making.
We cannot disappoint this sacrifice. We have to win this.
While Tenshinhan and Chaos bravely fought Takagami, Gogeta continued his assault with the intensity intact. The battle was taking place on two fronts, with the Earth Warriors sacrificing themselves to provide the necessary opening. Goku and Vegeta, as he approached, their hearts were filled with sorrow and gratitude towards Tenshinhan and Chaos. Gogeta, with supersonic speed, approached the scene where Tenshinhan and Chaos were bravely facing Takagami. His gaze reflected the mixture of determination and regret, knowing that the sacrifices of his teammates were the key to victory.
Hold on a little longer, guys. Let's put an end to this.
The Saiyan fusion advanced towards Takagami, who, upon seeing Gogeta's arrival, stopped attacking Tenshinhan and Chaos to confront the fused warrior. The intensity of the battle reached a new level, with attacks and counterattacks echoing across the battlefield. Tenshinhan, with his remaining strength, took advantage of that distraction to hold Takagami with all his strength, preventing him from moving freely. His face showed determination and resignation at the same time.
Chaos, this is your chance. Make every second I hold this monster worth it.
Chaos, next to Tenshinhan, nodded weakly. His body showed the ravages of the battle, but his eyes were shining with all the will to do the duty.
Tenshinhan is right, Gogeta. The light will always prevail over the darkness. Remember that. Goku, Vegeta, take care of our world. This is our last act.
At that moment, Chaos accumulated an immense amount of energy to sacrifice himself. Gogeta, who was very close, were hit by the shock wave of the explosion. Gogeta, recovering from the impact, looked at the place where his companions were with solemnly.
Your sacrifice will not be in vain. I promise.
After what happened, Gogeta raised his head and with an uncontrollable anger increased his ki in such a way that he made the battlefield rumble, making the stones that were in the place fly, making Takagami retreat only with the gusts of air that expanded from his being. In a panning from head to toe, we managed to see Gogeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Phase 4, which showed the essence of Ozaru as a kind of aura in blue color, and a more controlled but much more powerful version, a transformation never seen, since they were not able to coordinate their powers to be able to reach said transformation. As Gogeta's energy transformed into a surprising and controlled version of Super Saiyan Blue Stage 4, a brilliant blue essence of Ozaru manifested around him, revealing unparalleled potency. The cosmic landscape trembled before the magnitude of this new form. Goku and Vegeta, witness of this unique transformation, were filled with amazement and determination. It was evident that Gogeta was reaching a level of power never seen before, fusing the essence of Super Saiyan Blue with Ozaru's formidable presence flawlessly. Gogeta, in his new form, turned an intense gaze towards Takagami, whose expression of confidence was overshadowed by surprise. The battle, far from having come to an end, was just beginning in this new phase. The universe was waiting for the outcome of this epic confrontation where light and darkness collided in a cosmic dance. The promise of a new dawn loomed on the horizon, but the price of triumph was uncertain.
What will happen next? Find out in the next chapter. Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.
Black Goku.